You're in Konoha, and you call these ninja tools? This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 401, The Deterrent Power of the Black Death. Master Tianyu, I saw that you haven't eaten yet, so I went out to find you some food. After Shikamaru finished speaking, he began to deal with a big fish in his hand. As a qualified ninja, Shikamaru is quite good at cooking. Not only because of this, but also because of his teammate Prodigy. Because this guy's main purpose is to go out and have a good meal. So Shikamaru, the team leader, did the most important thing, which is to appease the hearts of the team members. Because of this reason, Luwan's cooking ability has improved by leaps and bounds, and can even reach a terrifying level. Tianyu could only nod, sit by the tree and start to release the soul power in his mind. At this time, Tianyu realized that his own strength was really pitiful. Now Tianyu's own soul power can only reach the level of an ordinary jonin. If it weren't for the fact that he had a lot of protective gear that could resist illusion attacks, maybe Uchiha could easily kill Tianyu. Tianyu gently closed his eyes and began to close his eyes to rest, trying to relax his mind. Then Tianyu continued to inject chakra into his mind. The power of chakra became stronger and stronger, and Tianyu's brain became more and more painful. At this time, Tianyu's face had become very pale, without any blood color. If it weren't for Shikamaru working hard to cook, Tianyu's face would naturally not be seen at this time. An hour later, Shikamaru's meal was almost done. And Tianyu's mental power has also changed drastically. Because Tianyu forcibly opened up his own mental power space, Tianyu's mental power is now twice as much as before. As long as he continues to use this method, Tianyu dares to be sure that he can solve his shortcomings. It smells so good. Tianyu has already smelled a very fragrant smell, and Tianyu casually opened up a space. Then the nearby fragrance has all disappeared and isolated, and no longer spread around. Tianyu did this to avoid causing too much trouble. This place is near the hidden rock village, so don't be too arrogant, just have a good meal here. Master Tianyu, have you finished your training? I have prepared the food. After we eat, let's go. Tianyu nodded and began to take out the kitchen utensils he brought with him and put them in front of Tianyu. Tianyu nodded with satisfaction, and then began to taste the food that Shikamaru had worked hard to make. In the end, both of them lay on the ground contentedly, looked up at the night sky, and slowly closed their eyes. This child, really? Tianyu shook his head helplessly, and then took out a blanket and put it on Shikamaru. After noticing that the surroundings were all safe, he finally lay on the ground quietly, intending to rest here for a night. While Tianyu and the others were resting, the Iwagakure village had already exploded. What the hell is going on? Why did all the Anbu we sent out disappear? Tiantian and Noki kept roaring in his office, looking at the report in his hand. After all, they had not received any orders from the Anbu for a day. This is basically impossible for the Anbu. As long as the Anbu takes action or a special action, the Anbu will convey information at any time. But there was no information from the Anbu for such a long time, so there was only one possibility. That was that all the Anbu sent out had disappeared from this world, which was why such a thing happened. But that was 1/3 of the Anbu of the Hidden Rock Village, and even he had no confidence in defeating these people. What's more, there was no information from the Anbu. That meant that all the Anbu died suddenly. So there was no time to convey the news to the headquarters. But there was no such person in the heart of the ninja with such fighting power. Who is it that can kill the Anbu in such a short time? Because of this profound question, the few remaining hairs of the two-toned Inoki began to fall again. Grandpa, do you think it could be the one from Konoha? Kuratsuchi sat aside, and after hearing these reports, he finally gave such a reason. Who from Konoha? The two-toned Inoki looked at Kurado in confusion, and then after thinking for a while, he asked such a stupid question. After hearing this, Kuratsuchi even suspected that Inoki was a little old and had Alzheimer's disease. In fact, the masters of Konoha are as numerous as clouds. Now, who is the one that Kuratsuchi is talking about? Is it the two Hokage of Konoha, or the legendary elder? Everyone, keep this secret. If this is leaked, everyone present will be killed. The 2-year-old Inoki also gave up on finding the real murderer. Now the most important thing is to hide the fact that Iwagakure village has lost 1/3 of the Anbu. Otherwise, their fate will not be much better than that of Sand village. Now Gara, the ruler of Sand village, can only rely on Konoha village awkwardly. If the news that Iwagakure village has lost its combat effectiveness spreads, then Iwagakure village can only choose to rely on a village. Otherwise, the village will not even be able to survive. Yes. After receiving the order, all left the Iwagakure office, leaving the 2-year-old Inoki alone in the office. Well, let everything go with the flow. I don't know who is coming. In Inoki's mind, the person he least wants to meet is Konoha village Tianyu. The first generation Hokage was very easy to talk to. Although he was powerful, he was also a pacifist. So this was the person Inoki wanted to get along with the most. The second generation was not so easy to talk to, but because of his brother's existence, this was not a big problem. So this was also a good choice. The last one was the terrifying new young man from Konoha, Tengo. Not only did he have countless terrifying blades on his body, but he also had an extremely cold heart. This made everyone in the world not want to meet this bastard Tengo. Sometimes Tengo's killing skills were elegant and gorgeous, but sometimes they were very simple and bloody. There was not even a chance of resurrection, and he turned into countless blood foam in minutes. So far, the fate of the Black Death God in the world has become brighter and brighter, and even has a reputation that is faintly higher than the entire Konoha village, becoming an existence that everyone will feel extremely respected no matter who mentions him. Chapter 402 You are surrounded by me. Shikamaru and Amaji slept peacefully until the next morning. Because Amaji had already ruled out all the dangerous factors nearby, he did not encounter any strange things. Shikamaru, we should enter the hidden rock village today, be careful. Although Amaji was not afraid of his own safety, he did not dare to guarantee that he could guarantee Shikamaru's safety all the time. That's why he told Shikamaru to protect himself in advance. Got it, Lord Amaji. Shikamaru nodded, and then followed Amaji to continue his journey. The two did not encounter any other dangerous situations along the way. After all, because 1/3 of the Anbu team disappeared in the hidden rock village, they were worried. Naturally, they would not send out high-level ninjas from the Anbu to do whatever they wanted. The two also arrived at the hidden rock village smoothly in half a day. The hidden rock village did not have any strict entrance tests. As long as they were not rebels, they could enter. So Amaji and Shikamaru walked into the hidden rock village effortlessly. Amaji did not go to the office of the hidden rock shadow of the hidden rock village immediately after entering the hidden rock village. After finally being able to come out for a stroll, he naturally wouldn't go back so soon to be assigned a task by Tsunade. So he must have a good time here for a few days. Anyway, he has already mastered the direction of the Akatsuki organization. As long as he sets out in front of them, there will be no big problem. Lord Tianyu, we have a mission anyway. Do you want to complete the mission first and then play? Shikamaru's head was already full of sweat. Tianyu was a very strange existence for Shikamaru. No matter who he was in front of, he would not be so panic. I don't know why he couldn't control his emotions next to Tianyu. Okay, why are you so slow like that old woman Tsunade? Tianyu was also very helpless. He had just escaped from the old woman, and there was still someone watching him here. Hu. Tsunade, who was sitting at her desk in Konoha at this time, couldn't help but sneeze. Lord Tsunade, are you catching a cold? Shizune ran in quickly, holding a cup of water in her hand, fearing that Tsunade would catch a cold. After all, Tsunade didn't know what happened a few days ago. She went out to drink again, and now there are documents piled up for several days that have not been processed. If Tsunade catches a cold now, Konoha will have many problems. Really, don't you know who I am? How could such a small thing as a cold happen to me? Tsunade impatiently took the water cup from Shizune's hand. She drank it all up. Then she continued to deal with the documents on the table. Shizune no longer disturbed Tsunade's work, quietly left the office, and stood at the door waiting for Tsunade to summon her at any time. At this time, Tianyu and Iwagakure village seemed very relaxed. Holding the special snacks of Iwagakure village in his hand, Shikamaru behind him also became a younger brother. He held a lot of local specialties in his hand. Shikamaru also asked why Tianyu bought so many things. Tianyu just sent Shikamaru away with a souvenir. Report, our Anbu saw 2 Konoha ninjas when we were patrolling just now. Anbu appeared in front of Inoki and put a photo in front of Inoki. When Inoki heard the word Konoha, he felt his head was bigger. He glanced at the photo on the table nervously, and his heart instantly fell to the bottom. It was really unexpected, and it was Tianyu who came in the end. This also made Inoki completely speechless, not knowing what to do. Now that Tianyu is here, there is only one result, that is, handing over the tailed beast of the Hidden Rock Village to Tianyu. In this way, they can live a peaceful life in the Hidden Rock Village. But why doesn't he come to me directly? What is Tianyu thinking in his heart? The only thing Inoki hasn't figured out now is why Tianyu didn't come to see him the first time he arrived at the Hidden Rock Village. He even expected it in his heart, wondering if Tianyu came here just to have fun. But this is obviously impossible. After all, next to Tianyu, there is also the Konoha ninja Shikamaru. Although Shikamaru is still in the growth stage, his name has long been famous in the ninja world. A calm strategist, but a talent that all ninja villages want to have. So a high-level elder of Konoha village, and a famous strategist of Konoha village. Without ordinary things, it is impossible for them to walk together. Come here, call Han and Z to me, I have something to tell them. Inoki had to call the two-tailed beast Jinchuriki of the Hidden Rock Village. He hoped that the two Jinchuriki could be arranged before Tianyu arrived. Tianyu on the other side naturally had already felt the Anbu ninjas following him from behind. As a former Anbu ninja, Tianyu felt that the tracking methods of these guys were a bit unreasonable. Hiding the head and showing the tail, are these guys really professionally trained? Shikamaru, follow me for a while, I have something interesting to do. Tianyu showed a smile on his face, and then continued to go shopping. Shikamaru did not show any abnormality, and followed Tianyu obediently. He felt that following Tianyu to carry out missions together, there were really too many fun things to do. Captain, the speed of the Konoha ninjas has increased. Have we been discovered? Excuse me, should we continue to follow? The Anbu following Tianyu also noticed something wrong. He immediately asked the captain next to him for instructions, whether to continue the mission. The captain of the Anbu also hesitated for a moment, and then gave the order firmly. Keep tracking, these Konoha ninjas are of unknown origin, they must have lost their way. Yes. Then all the Anbu ninjas continued to track, and followed Tianyu to a small alley. But after they came to the alley, they didn't see a single figure. No, we've been discovered, run. The captain of the Anbu felt that something was wrong, and hurriedly turned around and wanted to escape. Ha, it seems that you seem to be paying attention to me, why are you running away at this time? Isn't this boring? Tianyu walked in from the entrance of the alley at this time, and directly blocked all the Anbu of the Hidden Rock Village in the alley. Gulp. The captain of the Anbu moved his Adam's apple, not knowing what to say. The fighting power of the man in front of him is definitely not simple, otherwise he would not appear behind them quietly. Chapter 403 Angry Red Earth. Sir, we are also on a mission. You know this is the Iwagakure village. I hope you will let us go. The captain of the Anbu had no choice but to explain the situation to Tianyu. Then all the Anbu members made a posture ready to fight at any time. In fact, no one wanted to participate in the war now. After all, the current Iwagakure village lacked combat power, and they were the only ones left to protect the village. Go back and tell that old guy that I will go back to talk to him in a while. Don't follow me, otherwise none of you will survive next time. Tianyu swung his hand, and a kunai brushed the neck of the captain of the Anbu. Then, a trace of blood appeared on the neck of the captain of the Anbu. This was a warning from Tianyu to the Iwagakure village. It also told Bian Xianping and Inoki that he was not an easy persimmon to pinch. Otherwise, they would think that their strength was so strong because of the help of the first and second generation Hokage. Yes, I will convey your words intact. After the captain of the Anbu bowed to Tianyu, he hurriedly fled with his men. At this time, they also saw that the youngest genius in the history of Konoha was so powerful. Shikamaru, as a witness of all this, could only swallow his saliva. Then he could only admire Tianyu from the bottom of his heart. As for the ridiculous pursuit in his heart, it didn't work at all. It was really that Tianyu's fighting power was so powerful that people didn't have any competitive spirit at all. After Tianyu saw everyone leave, he looked at that Suchikage office in the distance. When he took action just now, Tianyu felt that the two-tailed beasts in the village were heading to the office. It seems that Inoki didn't want to take action after knowing that he came to the village. Now he observed that one of the two-tailed beasts had disappeared. Because Tianyu's scout rats had been handed over to Orochimaru, he didn't know what the other one was doing. But Tianyu was not too anxious. Anyway, no matter how he ran, these two Jinchuriki would never take out their palms. After all, he was in the Hidden Rock Village. If the two celestial beings, Inoki, really don't know what's good for them, then I can only ask that Tsuchikage to change a character. Shikamaru, let's continue playing. It's a good opportunity to see if there are any specialties here that Konoha doesn't have. Tianyu summoned his mood for a moment, and then continued to call Shikamaru to go shopping together. To be honest, the geographical location of Iwagakure is really peculiar. It is completely a copper wall and iron wall surrounded by rocky mountains. Maybe this is why the fighting power of Iwagakure is not strong, but no one has bad intentions. There are really not as many things to play here as in Konoha. There is no scenery, no food, it is a completely boring country. This also makes Tianyu's interest a little worse. Lord Tianyu, our Tsuchikage invites you. At this time, a man was wearing the costume of the Iwagakure ninja, with a yellow scarf wrapped around his neck. Not only that, his figure was a little out of shape, and it was impossible to imagine that he was a ninja. This is Inoki's personal bodyguard Akaji, who has super strength. In Iwagakure, there is the name of the Tsuchikage shield with super strength. It was obvious from the look on Akaji's face that he didn't understand why the Tsuchikage had given the order. He was asked to respectfully invite Tianyu to his office. However, as a personal bodyguard for so many years, Akaji naturally didn't complain. Oh? It seems that the old guy can't sit still anymore. It just so happens that this place is really boring. I'd better go and do some business. Tianyu didn't refuse this time, and followed Akaji to the Tsuchikage's office obediently. Akaji's fists were clenched all the way. After all, anyone would be shocked to hear someone say that their most respected elder was called an old guy. If it weren't for Inoki's words, Akaji might have killed this ungrateful guy just now. Dong dong dong. Come in. After Akaji knocked on the door, an old voice came from the room. Lord Tianyu, please come in. Akaji made way for Tianyu and stretched out a hand to invite Tianyu in. Tianyu patted Akaji's shoulder and then walked into the office. Akatsuki looked at Shikamaru, who was raising his hand at this moment, and wanted to imitate Tengu and pat Akatsuki's shoulder. Haha, just kidding. Shikamaru smiled, patted his shoulder with his hand, and then walked into the office. Really, they are just two little kids. Akatsuki complained, and then followed into the office and stood beside Inoki. Ha ha ha, Elder Tengu has come from afar, why don't you come to my humble abode to chat? Inoki was like an old man next door, and there was no sign of fear in his heart. And Tengu didn't answer Inoki's words immediately, and glanced at Shikamaru. Shikamaru quickly found a stool and placed it behind Tengu. Tengu crossed his legs leisurely, looking at this century-old man. Tsuchikage-sama, let's not beat around the bush, you should also know the purpose of my coming. Please hand over the two Jinchuriki of the Hidden Rock Village to our Konoha for safekeeping, and we will give compensation. Tengu didn't waste time and directly stated his purpose. After all, there is nothing interesting here, so it is better to leave quickly. Inoki's face also became very strange. He did not expect Tianyu to be so direct. There was no polite words at all, and he directly stated his purpose. Boy, I have tolerated you for a long time. Who do you think you are, talking to that Tsuchikage like this? Akatsuki was really intolerable, and slammed his hand on the table with a bang. Akatsuki. Inoki quickly scolded Akatsuki and looked at Tianyu nervously. Fortunately, Tianyu seemed to be in a good mood and was not angry. Tsuchikage, he is too rude. Akatsuki was really angry, and could only stand behind Inoki angrily. Haha, Elder Tianyu, don't be angry, I didn't take good care of this guard, you are embarrassed. After Inoki apologized to Tianyu, Tianyu shook his hand, indicating that there was no problem with this matter. Then they continued to discuss the matter of Jinchuriki. Tsuchikage-sama, I hope you can give me an answer right now. I'm also very busy, you know. Inoki's face was very ugly. Finally, he could only raise his hand helplessly, ready to call out the Jinchuriki. At this time, the door of the office was slammed open. Everyone in the office looked in front of the door, curious about who rushed in rashly. Chapter 404, a calm negotiation. Grandpa, I heard that someone from Konoha is coming. A girl dressed in Iwagakure ninja clothes, with short black hair and a very capable look rushed in. This girl should be Kuratsuchi, the granddaughter of the two great masters Enoki. Kuratsuchi, you are so rude. Can't you see that we are talking about business? Enoki didn't want his granddaughter to get involved in the mess, so he could only drive him out. Who knew that Kuratsuchi didn't listen at all? He glanced around and saw Tianyu sitting on the chair. Hey, you are the person from Konoha this time, right? I want to ask you, is Deidara with you? Tianyu looked at Kuratsuchi's long legs and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. I don't know if Deidara has a problem with his brain. Why did he leave such a good girl like Kuratsuchi alone? Kuratsuchi. Okay, Lord Tsuchikage, getting angry is not good for your health. You should stop being angry. Tianyu interrupted Tsuchikage and started chatting with Kuratsuchi. That's right, and I personally recruited Deidara into our Konoha. What? You're just bragging, we know Deidara's fighting power. Tianyu looked at Kuratsuchi with strange eyes. It seemed that the Chunin exam was over. Kuratsuchi didn't even notice him. He even forgot about himself as the invigilator. Tianyu didn't explain to Kuratsuchi. Tianyu was still immune to beautiful women. After all, there were many beautiful women in Konoha, so Tianyu's vision was getting higher and higher. Lord Tsuchikage, you'd better call someone quickly. I don't want to play house with you here. After signing, Enoki could only raise his hand and then walked into the office alone. This man was wearing a purple robe with a rope across his nose. This is the Jinchuriki of the Four-Tails Son Goku, Z. Elder Tianyu, you see, I have handed over our Jinchuriki to you, so you can leave now. Enoki's old face didn't look embarrassed at all. There was even a little bit of luck in his heart, and he wanted to just say that to get rid of Tianyu. Tianyu looked at Z's face. It seemed that these people had already studied it, and they were even willing to sacrifice a Jinchuriki in order to get rid of him. Tsuchikage-sama, are you a little too much? Tianyu still had a smile on his face, but there was a faint chill beside him, and a knife had appeared on Tianyu's thigh. What do you mean by this, Elder Tianyu? Enoki wiped the sweat from his face and wanted to continue to play dumb. Tsuchikage-sama, according to the records of our first generation, it seems that the first generation should have handed over two-tailed beasts to you. Shikamaru put a report in his hand on Enoki's desk. His face was very ugly. He didn't expect that the Hidden Rock village would be so shameless. They shamelessly said that their village only had one-tailed beast. It seems that there is a problem with your Konoha's records. Our village really only has this one-tailed beast. Enoki didn't buy it at all, and he was very stubborn and said that his village only had this one-tailed beast. Tianyu also seemed a little impatient and stood up slowly. Shikamaru, stop talking. Since Lord Tsuchikage doesn't want to have a good chat with us, then we won't have a good chat either. Then Tianyu threw a kunai in his hand beside him. How dare you take out a weapon in that Tsuchikage's office? Even if you are an elder of Konoha, don't even think about leaving today. Akatsuki blocked the door, staring at Tianyu, releasing all his anger. And Kuratsuchi also quickly saw that something was wrong and quickly took out his weapon. Huh? It seems that you don't welcome our Konoha ninjas, kid. A puff of smoke appeared where Tianyu threw the kunai just now, and a man in red samurai armor appeared in the office. This person is the so-called god of ninjas, the first generation of Konoha, Senju Hoshirama. Tianyu crossed his legs and continued to sit back in his seat. Okay, Lord Tsuchikage, it seems that we still have the chance to have a good talk. I hope you can reorganize your words. This. Enoki's face has become very ugly now. He thought that even if Tianyu was powerful, he was still the Tsuchikage of the Hidden Rock village. In a one-on-one situation, there would not be any big problems. Who knew that the people who came this time were actually the god of ninjas, Senju Hoshirama, and this person was the one who handed the tailed beast to them. If one of them came here, Enoki would not have such an expression. Boy, I remember that I gave you two-tailed beasts at the beginning, why is there only one left now? Senju Hoshirama had already learned the whole story from Tianyu. So he came out to ask, and he was not as easy to talk to as the rumors said. Even Akatsuki was not presumptuous at this time, standing obediently in place, not even daring to breathe. Lord Hoshirama, you also know the strength of our Hidden Rock village. We only hope to keep one-tailed beast to save our lives, and we have no second thoughts. Enoki's acting skills are also first class, and tears fall when he says they fall. It's as if there is a huge disaster in the Hidden Rock village now. Haha, old man, you have the nerve to say that. In this peaceful time, what kind of weapon do you need to save your life? Hearing Tianyu telling the truth without any interest, even if Inoki was thick-skinned, he couldn't help blushing. Lord Tsuchikage, please don't hold on any longer. I'll go with him. At this time, a tall man with full armor and holes all over his body walked in. This is Han, the Jinchuriki of the tailed beast Jinchuriki of the Hidden Rock Village, the five-tailed Mu Wang. Just now, after Inoki discussed it, he decided to let the five-tailed Mu Wang escape. This way, it can also leave some fighting power for the Hidden Rock Village, especially now that the fighting power of the Hidden Rock Village is lacking. But looking at the resolute look of Konoha now, if Inoki says something, then Tianyu and Senju Hashirama will not hesitate to take action. Han, why are you sighing? Okay, you go with him. Lord Hashirama, long time no see. I have a lot of things to do here. If there is nothing else, you can leave. Senju Hashirama looked at Tianyu, and Tianyu nodded obscurely. After a puff of smoke, Senju Hashirama disappeared in the Iwagakure office. Ha, Lord Tsuchikage is so straightforward. We won't bother you anymore. We'll leave. Tianyu put his hands on the shoulders of the two Jinchuriki and then disappeared. The next moment, Tianyu appeared again. He had placed the two Jinchuriki in Konoha village and would go to other ninja villages to continue. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 405 Abdication. Lord Tsuchikage, you know we have other things to do, so I won't bother you. Tianyu greeted Inoki with a smile, and then left with Shikamaru. Finally left. That Tsuchikage slumped in his chair and breathed a sigh of relief. After a busy day, he finally sent this plague out away. Grandpa, who is that boy just now? Kuratsuchi only reacted from the shock just now. After all, it was the first time she saw the god of ninjas, Senju Hashirama, and the legend of Senju Hashirama was only heard in legends. Don't you young people know this guy? Inoki was very puzzled. After all, the legend of Tianyu should be very famous among young people. Huh? Is the boy just now very famous? What do you think? He is Tianyu, the leader who overthrew the rule of Konoha Sarutobi Hirozen. Don't you know him? Tianyu? Could the boy just now be the Tianyu? Kuratsuchi widened his eyes, not daring to believe what his grandfather said. After all, in the legend, Tianyu is an 8-foot tall and very mature man. Who would have thought that this legendary genius was just a 13 or 14-year-old boy? I don't believe it either. A helpless smile appeared on Inoki's face. He still remembered that when he was this age, he was still playing with soil, right? He didn't expect that now Tianyu has become the ceiling. This world is really unfair. Akaji, don't judge people by appearance in the future, understand? I will punish you next time. Inoki was very angry at Akado's performance just now. After all, that Tsuchikage, is here, and as a guard, he actually talked nonsense. If it weren't for Tianyu's temper, none of the people in the office just now would have come out alive. I'm sorry, Lord Tsuchikage, I did offend you just now. After admitting his mistake to Inoki, Akado walked out of the room. Although Inoki didn't say that he would punish himself, Akado naturally knew his mistake. So Akado decided to go to the criminal law department to receive the punishment himself. Kuratsuchi, Grandpa is also old, and I want to take a rest. Inoki slumped in the chair, and then looked at Kuratsuchi who was still in the office. Ah. Grandpa, what are you talking about? You are very healthy. Kuratsuchi hurriedly stepped forward and hugged Inoki from behind. Inoki's face did not look happy because of the flattery, and his worry remained. Kuratsuchi, I hope you can take over my position. I believe your ability is not bad. This. Kuratsuchi naturally knew why Inoki said this just now. But as the Tsuchikage for decades, Inoki's prestige in the village is very high. Especially now that the combat effectiveness of the Iwagakure village is in trouble, Inoki's abdication at this time is like adding insult to injury. I'm sorry Kuratsuchi, Grandpa, I'm really tired, let me rest. Inoki, who has always been kind, now even asked Kuratsuchi. Because of the blow that Tianyu brought to Inoki today, Inoki now has a deep wound in his heart. Okay, Grandpa, I will work hard to clean up your Iwagakure village. Just like that, a few days later, the whole world knew the news that Inoki, the two great masters of the Iwagakure village, abdicated. After hearing the news, Tianyu was also very amused. But he didn't feel anything wrong because of this matter. After all, Tianyu did what he should do. These were just because Inoki was too weak to be psychologically hit. But this is all a few days later. In these few days, he still needs to let the two Tianping Inoki make the handover of the work of Tsuchikage. All these things together will take a long time. Tianyu also took Shikamaru to another village. Shikamaru, it seems that we have to stroll around the Kirigakure, but I don't know if we can find that guy. Tianyu was talking about the six-tailed Jinchuriki Yu-Gi-Oh who originally belonged to the Kirigakure. The last time Tianyu came to the Kirigakure to subdue the three-tailed, he didn't go to find the six-tailed for the same reason. Yu-Gi-Oh has been wandering around, and ordinary people don't know where he is. So Tianyu can only go to the Kirigakure to try. If he can't find it, he can only do this. The main reason for Tianyu to go to the Kirigakure is because Tianyu has been to the Kirigakure. It just so happens that there is a mark that can teleport there. Shianyu really didn't want to walk on his legs anymore, so Shianyu chose Maid Day. Then Shianyu put his hand on Shikamaru, and then the two of them appeared in the territory of the Land of Water. Report: we just found a powerful ninja appeared in the Land of Water, the former habitat of the three-tailed beast. At this time, Terumi-Mei was working in the office. Who knew that Queen ran in hurriedly at this time and put a report on the table in front of Terumi-Mei. Terumi-Mei didn't dare to underestimate this matter, and quickly picked up the report. Chijiro, follow me and lead people to the lake to see who is coming to my Kirigakure. Yes. Chijiro followed Terumi-Mei with his double swords flounder on his back. Then the two of them led a part of the Anbu to the lake. At this time, Shianyu had already left the lake with Shikamaru and went to the capital of the Land of Water. Because the last time I came here, I didn't observe it carefully. It's a good opportunity to see if the scenery of the Land of Water is better than that of the Hidden Rock Village. After going to Iwagakure, Shianyu really didn't want to go to Iwagakure anymore. Looking around, everything was made of stone. How could people live here? Shianyu still didn't understand why the two astronomical figures Inoki lived to such an old age. He lived to such an old age without any fun. Shianyu still admired Inoki. Sir Terumi-Mei, it seems that there is no one here at all. After observing the surroundings, Chijiro finally came to a conclusion. Is there a problem with Queen's investigation? Sir Terumi-Mei, is there a problem with Queen's Byakugan because it doesn't match? Chijiro has always been disgusted with Queen. After all, after getting the Byakugan of the Hyuga family, he transplanted it into his own eyes. This is an inhumane thing in itself. So when the two were at the headquarters, they often got angry over some small things. If it weren't for the fact that Terumi-Mei had been maintaining the relationship between the two, at least one of them would have to die before they could stop. Chapter 406, Collapse of Orochimaru. It's not impossible. Let's go back for now. Although Madarumi didn't say anything on the surface, it was obvious that she was very angry. After sneering, Chijiro followed Madarumi back to the Hidden Mist village. At this time, Queen in the intelligence department had a very ugly face. Because on the reconnaissance water ball, a huge bag kept moving. This was simply a battle of the highest order. Otherwise, some masters appeared in the Land of Water. After all, even if two cage-level units fought on this water ball, there would not be such a big bag. Master Queen, Master Mizuka asked you to see him. An Anbu appeared behind Queen and invited Queen to go to the Mizukage's office. It's over. Queen saw that something was wrong when he saw the Anbu next to him. In a gang situation, if Queen was invited, the Anbu would not force himself to be next to him. After a while, Queen was taken to the office. Madarumi was sitting in her seat, leisurely looking at the report in her hand. And a sneer appeared on the face of Chijiro next to her. Sir Terumi-Mei, what's the matter with you urgently looking for me? Queen was a little nervous, but for some reason, after a long time, Terumi-Mei didn't respond at all. Gulp. Queen's face was full of sweat, and he didn't even dare to breathe. Terumi-Mei's current appearance was really terrifying. Queen, why did you give us wrong information just now? Do you know that our dispatch expenses are very high? After reading the report for more than 10 minutes, Terumi-Mei finally put the report in her hand on the table. After hearing what Terumi-Mei said, Quinn was obviously stunned for a moment. Yes, he hadn't reported this matter to Terumi-Mei yet. By the way, Lord Terumi-Mei, you mentioned this matter, and I remembered it. The enemy I found this time looks very powerful. The strength we detected is terrifying. Okay. Terumi-Mei slammed the table hard, stood up and looked at Quinn impatiently. Sir Terumi-Mei, what's wrong with you? Quinn didn't understand why Terumi-Mei was so angry when he reported the problem. What did he say wrong? Haha, Quinn, you are so bold. What's your intention in reporting false intelligence? Chijiro sneered and looked at Quinn with disdain. This guy's good days are over after what he did today. Quinn didn't understand what Chijiro was talking about. Why did he say that to himself? Quinn's brain might be about to explode now. Okay, Quinn, go home and rest recently. I think you should have a good rest. Terumi finally calmed down and asked Quinn to go home and rest. This also proved that his identity as the head of the intelligence department would be replaced by someone else. Yes. What happened? What did I do wrong? Although Quinn was very obedient on the surface, he was completely confused in his heart. He kept looking for what he had done today in his mind. After that, Quinn said hello to Terumi and left the office. At this time, Tianyu, the culprit, was still playing in the capital of the Land of Water. It can be said that this place is simply a paradise on Earth. If the Hidden Rock Village is a wild place, then this is the Land of Elves. The Land of Water is surrounded by a huge sea. And there are countless famous landscapes in it. Tianyu suddenly felt that he had not come to the wrong place. This place is really perfect. Even Shikamaru, who always disliked these things, was watching and playing around. Huh? Tianyu suddenly felt that his scout rats were dying in large numbers. This made Tianyu a little uneasy. At the beginning, Tianyu also felt death, but it was just one by one. They died in large numbers first. Did Orochimaru know that it was difficult to get his materials? Shikamaru, go find a hotel first, we will stay here temporarily. I have something else to do, I'm leaving first. After Tianyu gave an order, he disappeared from the spot and appeared in the hidden laboratory of Konoha village. Squeak. A scout rat came to Tianyu's feed, and Orochimaru was also concentrating on studying the scout rat. Not only that, even Senju Tobirama came out for this experiment. After all, the zero tail that created the dark chakra has always been a regret for Senju Tobirama. Now that he has the conditions to realize his wish again, Senju Tobirama is naturally very interested in this experiment. Tianyu, why are you here? Orochimaru found Tianyu's figure and put down his work. Why am I here? If I don't come again, will my scout rats be gone? Tianyu pointed to a scout rat mountain not far away with a very ugly face. This is full of scout rat corpses that failed in the experiment. This also made Tianyu feel very painful. Although the corpses of scout rats can be reforged. But don't forget the loss of materials. It seems that this experiment has also cost Tianyu a lot of money. No matter how much money you make, it is not blown by the wind, right? If this idea is heard by others, they will want to kill Tianyu. Now most of Tianyu's assets are earned by gambling. As a casino god, Tianyu has never lost money in any casino. This is also different from Tsunade, who is called a big fat sheep. Now the photo of Tianyu has been circulated in casinos all over the world. As long as such a person appears, quickly offer money with both hands to avoid disaster. Otherwise, when this man takes action, it will be bankruptcy. Therefore, Tianyu has also had a rumor in the gambling world, that is, the big bad wolf Tianyu. Tianyu, you can't blame me, I have no choice, after all, I really don't understand the internal conditions of your scout rat. Orochimaru was also very helpless. As a scientist in the ninja world, he thought that nothing could be difficult for him. But after Orochimaru disassembled a scout rat, he completely doubted his life. It was too delicate, and everything was involved. It was simply not something that belonged to this era. So after half of the experiment was carried out, Orochimaru had no choice but to invite the ancestor Senju Tobirama to come and study together. In this way, after killing half of the scout rats, he barely understood a little bit of the scout rats. Chapter 407, Orochimaru was blackmailed. Don't you know that it's very troublesome to make my scout rat? A smirk appeared on Tianyu's face. When Orochimaru saw this smile, he felt bad all of a sudden. After all, every time Tianyu had this expression, it meant that Tianyu was thinking about something bad. That Tianyu, I've explained to you that these casualties are necessary. Orochimaru could only pretend to be pitiful to get Shionyu's forgiveness. Otherwise, if Shiony didn't want to solve this matter easily, then he or she would bleed a lot. Orochimaru, what are you talking about? Do you think I'm that kind of person? Shiony showed a kind smile on his face. If Orochimaru didn't know Shionyu's character, he really thought that Shiony was not that kind of person. Let me study your Kusanagi sword, just think of it as an apology to my scout rat. Damn. This is simply robbery. Orochimaru now wants to kill Shiony. After all, Orochimaru's Kusanagi sword is a famous artifact in the ninja world. This is one of the 3 sacred artifacts that Orochimaru got from the tale of Yamada no Orochi after the deal with Yamada no Orochi. In the legend, Yamada no Orochi was second only to the 9 tails. However, after Yamada no Orochi lost the Kusanagi sword, Yamada no Orochi completely lost its original power. But Orochimaru did not develop the original power of the Kusanagi sword. It was as if this power did not belong to him at all, so he had no way to use the power of Yamada no Orochi. Well, I don't know how to use this thing, so I'll give it to you. Following a dry heave of Orochimaru, a 6-foot-long Kusanagi sword appeared in Orochimaru's mouth. This Shionyu's face clearly showed a trace of disgust. After all, it was spit out from Orochimaru's mouth, and Shiony didn't know how to pick it up. Why are you so disgusting? You have to make things so disgusting no matter what you do. Aren't you boring? Shiony complained speechlessly, and then picked up the Kusanagi sword on the ground with disgust. Do you want it or not? I don't want to give you the Kusanagi sword yet. Orochimaru was also very helpless. After all, the Kusanagi sword was obtained by Orochimaru at the cost of his life. Who knew that Shiony would get it so easily, and even disliked the sword in the end? Suddenly, there was a rumble, and the Kusanagi sword continued to produce energy waves in Shionyu's hand. Shionyu's face became a little ugly, and he quickly stood up and disappeared. The next moment, Shiony appeared in the Death God Forest. It's really not simple, it's worthy of being a famous artifact. Shiony sighed in his heart, and then he was also curious about why the Kusanagi sword would appear in this situation after he got it. Ha, kid, I didn't expect that there would be someone who could activate the original body. Thank you so much, now give me back my power, I will eat you and make you feel honored. At this time, a huge command formation appeared under Shionyu's feet. A huge snake demon with pure white skin and 9 heads appeared in front of Shiony. The size of this snake is dozens of times larger than the Yamada no Orochi transformed by Orochimaru. It can be seen that this snake should be the legendary existence whose entity can pass through the 3 realms and whose combat power is second only to the 9-tailed fox. What are you doing? It turns out that you, the resentful species, are sealed in the Kusanagi sword. The reason why Shiony wanted the Kusanagi sword was to see if his Kusanagi sword could still be modified. Who knew that such an annoying thing would appear? This also made Shiony very speechless and felt that things were very troublesome. Especially encountering such a self-righteous summoning beast is also a very headache. Monster, don't you know that there are people beyond people and there are heavens beyond heavens? Shiony threw the Kusanagi sword in his hand away. After all, after summoning the Yamada no Orochi, the Kusanagi sword has lost its original brilliance. Even the originally indestructible sword body has already appeared faint cracks. In the original novel, when Orochimaru attacked Konoha, even after killing Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Kusanagi sword still had a luster. Now it's good, the legendary artifact Kusanagi sword has been destroyed in the long river of history. Boy, since you don't know what's good for you, then I can only take action. Yamada no Orochi now obviously has no interest in chatting with Shiony, this kid. Then the 8 heads of Yamada no Orochi have moved, and the 8 mouths have been constantly producing different kinds of energy fluctuations. This is the legendary Yamada no Orochi. What's going on? Why did Shiony have problems as soon as he got the Kusanagi sword? Orochimaru is also heading to the Death Forest at the fastest speed at this time. After all, his bloodline is ready to move. After the explosion just now, Orochimaru felt that the S-level forbidden technique Yamada no Jutsu he practiced was ready to move. It seems that Shiony has accidentally stimulated the original power of Yamada no Orochi hidden in the Kusanagi sword. Don't let anything happen. If I can get the soul of Yamada no Orochi, my S-level forbidden technique will definitely be promoted to SS level. Orochimaru is very confident in his own strength. Especially if he gets the soul of Yamada no Orochi, then Orochimaru is confident that his strength in Konoha will only be less than those top fighters. Huh? Isn't this the little guy who stole my inner strength? I didn't expect to meet you suddenly. You can't escape this time. Yamada no Orochi was about to take action, but who knew that the energy in his mouth suddenly stopped. He looked in the direction of Konoha in the distance, because Yamada no Orochi had already felt a breath of Orochimaru at that time. When he was resting in his habitat, this little guy suddenly appeared behind him. He stole all the power he had accumulated for 100 years. Although Yamada no Orochi wanted to find Orochimaru very much and take away his power. But his power at that time could not appear in this world at all. After all, after his power was stolen, Yamada no Orochi's strength had already reached the bottom of the divine beasts. If Yamada no Orochi really went out rashly, then his former enemies would find him one after another. With his current fighting power, he would be torn into pieces by the creatures very soon. Chapter 408, Obito's life-threatening action. This is why after the appearance of Orochimaru's aura, Yamada no Orochi would search for him immediately. Orochimaru has cast a shadow on his life. Only after killing Orochimaru can Yamada no Orochi break through his cultivation. Am I being ignored? Tianyu stood there and looked at Yamada no Orochi, who had already run far away, very speechless. He hadn't felt ignored for a long time. After all, Tianyu was an elder of Konoha village, and basically everyone would be very respectful when they saw his face. Maybe only creatures from ancient times like this could ignore him. After all, his appearance and body shape were just like that of a 14-year-old child. Being ignored was also a very normal thing. Should I go to help? Tianyu stood there and thought for a while, and decided to go over and take a look. But Tianyu couldn't do it immediately. After all, Orochimaru caused the death of half of his scout rats, and he must make this guy suffer. Otherwise, wouldn't all his efforts be in vain? Yamada no Orochi rushed towards Orochimaru at a terrifying speed, and the energy in his mouth had already reached its limit. As long as he saw Orochimaru, Yamada no Orochi would kill Orochimaru in this world without hesitation. And Tianyu followed behind Yamada no Orochi easily, always ensuring the losses around him. After all, he just wanted to teach Orochimaru a lesson. If he, a scientist of Konoha, died in such a small matter, it would be more trouble than gain. At this time, Orochimaru had not yet felt the seriousness of the matter. Orochimaru was not accompanied by Senju Tobirama, and when he came out, Senju Tobirama also proposed to come out and take a look. However, because the research on the scout rat has reached the most critical moment, the snake let Senju Tobirama stay in the laboratory alone. And Orochimaru ran out by himself. This also led to Orochimaru experiencing the most brutal battle in his life. Ha, is the power getting closer? Orochimaru's heart was full of desire, and his combat power, which had stagnated for many years, finally improved again. This can also allow his experiment to enter a new realm. At this time in the Akatsuki base, Obito looked at the hall with only a few people left in the room. For some reason, Obito actually felt a little desolate. Originally, when there were enough people, they had such a great wish to realize it. Now it's good. In the entire Akatsuki organization, there is only one Fidan with only a head left. There is also the black and white Zetsu, who was injured in an accident a few days ago and is still recovering. Then there is a tuberculosis Nagato, who is basically useless. The second is the sixth path's pain that Nagato has been controlling, and because of the reasons a few days ago. Tianyu took people to get rid of the evil ghost path of the sixth path's pain. Now the combat power is not too strong. Then there is Konan, who can control paper, and the combat power is not much loss. There is also Kabuto Yakashi, who was recruited in Konoha a few days ago, and finally it is himself whose combat power is still intact. The current Akatsuki organization is completely an empty shell organization. It's not just a problem of personnel, even the task of capturing the tailed beast is constantly disrupted by someone. Every time before they set off, Tianyu will appear at their capture location the next moment. Directly snatched away the mission target of the Akatsuki organization. Some time ago, the Akatsuki organization was wondering if there were any undercover agents. After a period of careful investigation, no one had any transmitters. This also made Obito completely confused. No one could figure out why, and how Tianyu knew in advance where they would appear next. Just when Obito was very helpless, Konan's paper suddenly appeared in front of Obito. We have found the whereabouts of the six-tailed feathered high, and there is no shadow of the Black Death God in the land of water. We should now use the fastest speed to grab the six-feathered high in front of Tianyu. This mission can only succeed, not fail. We don't have many chances. Obito can only try his best this time and put all his fighting power on the six-tailed high. If Tianyu comes to make trouble for no reason again, then Obito will take everyone to fight Tianyu to the death. Yes. At this time, everyone in the group stood up and went to the land of water at their fastest speed. While the Akatsuki organization was studying the plan to capture the Vulpix, the battle on Konoha had already begun. At this time, Yamada no Orochi had already arrived not far from Orochimaru. Ha ha ha, I finally saw this kid, you go to hell. Yamada no Orochi had already seen Orochimaru, and the energy balls on the 8 heads were getting bigger and bigger, and they were about to be launched to kill Orochimaru. However, Tianyu would naturally not stand idly by. It's just a small snake, and you really think you are some legendary beast. Tianyu raised his hand lightly, and a Kusanagi sword flew out instantly, piercing Yamada no Orochi's tail. Roar! The energy ball in Yamada no Orochi's mouth disappeared instantly, and he kept twisting his body in place. Originally, after Orochimaru stole the Kusanagi sword, the power and injury of his tail became greater and greater. Unexpectedly, Tianyu would now directly rub salt into this old wound. Humans, I hate humans so much. Yamada no Orochi kept roaring in place. At this time, Orochimaru naturally heard the voice of Yamada no Orochi, and hurriedly looked at Tianyu standing on the tree in the distance. I didn't expect it was really Yamada no Orochi. Tianyu, help me find this guy. I promise to help you wholeheartedly in the future. Orochimaru also felt that his strength was impossible to compare with Yamada no Orochi. So he could only let Tianyu, whose combat power was unfathomable, take action. Tianyu did not take action immediately, but looked at Orochimaru indifferently. What do you want? I really need the soul of Yamada no Orochi. I really beg you. Orochimaru was also very helpless. There was only this one chance, otherwise Orochimaru would not beg Tianyu so much. You do it yourself first. I'm injured now and need to rest for a while. Tianyu found a place to rest casually, and didn't want to help at all. And Orochimaru could only smile helplessly and took out some weapons from the depths of his clothes. Chapter 409 Cluster Strike. Orochimaru's weapons can be said to be all kinds of strange. They are all special weapons refined by blood limit. And they were made by Tianyu at a high cost, so Orochimaru has no money now. And there are more than 10 3 Magatama eyes floating around Orochimaru's body. These are the most perfect 3 Magatama eyes that Orochimaru has felt for such a long time. In this way, he should be able to hold on until Tianyu's injury is healed. After all, Tianyu's scout brats died too many times this time, so he holds a grudge in his heart. This is just Tianyu's punishment for Orochimaru. But can you act more realistically? You can't show a pale face or blood on your body. Now Tianyu is fine, lying on the ground eating snacks, and even looking at Orochimaru to prepare for the battle. Keep going, my injury will be healed soon, it will be soon. Tianyu said this, and then continued to look at Orochimaru with a smile. Please recover quickly. I will try my best to prevent the Yamada no Orochi from harming you. Although Orochimaru was helpless, he could only ask Tianyu. Tianyu nodded symbolically and then said nothing more. Orochimaru sighed, and then his body began to change slowly. In a short while, Orochimaru turned into a snake-shaped monster that looked exactly like the Yamada no Orochi. However, in front of the real Yamada no Orochi, Orochimaru was just an ordinary little snake. Pudgy. Tianyu couldn't help laughing. Orochimaru's appearance was really funny. I thought that the huge Orochimaru was just a child in front of the Yamada no Orochi. Guru. Orochimaru was also very nervous, and even had no confidence at all to deal with the Yamada no Orochi. Boy, I don't know if you still recognize me. You attacked me and caused me to be like this. Today I will cut you into pieces. When Yamada no Orochi saw Orochimaru, he was not calm at all, and his eyes were bloodshot. Haha, I want to see how you cut me into pieces. Although Orochimaru was very unconfident in his heart, he was still stubborn on the surface. Yamada no Orochi chuckled, and then an energy wave directly knocked off one of Orochimaru's heads. As long as all 8 heads of Orochimaru's Yamada no jutsu were chopped off, then Orochimaru would really die. Boy, you only know how to be stubborn. I thought your strength had improved a lot, But you are still the same as before. After Yamada no Orochi taunted, his body began to float in the air. Once again, energy fluctuations gathered in the end. This time, Yamada no Orochi must kill Orochimaru. 3 Magatama eyes, all activated. As soon as Orochimaru finished speaking, more than a dozen 3 Magatama eyes appeared beside Orochimaru. All the 3 Magatama eyes flashed red light and were activated instantly. At this moment, Tianyu also sat up with interest. It was the first time he saw a lot of 3 Magatama eyes used together. After all, the appearance of a single 3 Magatama eye was just 3A level illusions. If more than 10 3 Magatama eyes were activated at the same time, it was unknown what level this illusion would return to. And Yaki Great Snake had no worries at all. After all, Yaki Great Snake did not think that a small human would use this thing similar to an eyeball to defeat itself. At this time, all the 3 Magatama eyes emitted red light. They continued to gather in the air and finally became a thick red light. Interesting, it has reached the peak of the S-level illusion. Tianyu also judged the level of this illusion based on the energy fluctuations emitted by the 3 Magatama eyes. The 8 heads of Yaki Great Snake also became confused, and he also felt the terrifying energy of this illusion. But at this time, Yaki Great Snake had no way to resist the damage of the illusion. It could only resist this damage. In this way, Yamada no Orochi's big move was ruthlessly interrupted for the second time. Yamada no Orochi also fell into the illusion for a moment. From this point of view, it should be able to hold on for a while. After Orochimaru breathed a sigh of relief, he looked at Tianyu. Tianyu smiled and pointed at his body, and smiled helplessly. Orochimaru smiled bitterly, and then continued to organize his weapons to ensure his life safety for a while. Although the illusion of the 3 Magatama eyes is very terrifying. But don't forget that Yamada no Orochi's combat power is naturally not very simple. In just 10 minutes, Yamada no Orochi had successfully broken free from the illusion. Boy, I hope you can still use the trick just now, otherwise you will have no chance to escape. Yamada no Orochi's tone became more and more ugly. As such a powerful divine beast, he has repeatedly hit the wall, which is really too much. If this matter is heard by other divine beasts, wouldn't they laugh at him to death? Orochimaru's face was also very ugly, because he had just fought an overloaded battle. Now all the 3 Magatama eyes have become scrapped. The 3 Magatama eyes that were originally floating in the air were all broken into pieces and turned into powder and fell to the ground. Orochimaru quickly took out a button and pressed it. Boom! After a loud bang, the snow-white snake scales of the Yamada no Orochi turned gray. These were all because Orochimaru had quickly placed countless detonating tags on the Yamada no Orochi in the past 10 minutes. That's why the current situation has happened. Tianyu smiled and slowly stood up. At this time, Orochimaru has reached his limit. If he continues to mess around, Orochimaru may really be finished. Orochimaru, my body has recovered. You go down and I'll go up to help. Tianyu then appeared in front of Orochimaru, and waved his hand gently, and Orochimaru appeared in the original position of Tianyu. Humans, you all deserve to die, you all deserve to die. Yamada no Orochi is now completely crazy. Just now it was a mental blow, now it is a physical blow. The scheme of this group of humans is too insidious, they actually use such a shady trick. Where is that kid just now? Why are you here? Yamada no Orochi originally wanted to find Orochimaru to continue his revenge. Who knew that when he realized what was going on, the human in front of him turned out to be the kid who summoned him at the beginning? Could it be that what happened just now was completely an illusion that he fell into? Chapter 410 Yamada no Orochi Jinchuariki. Boy, since you want to die so much, I can only make it happen for you. Yaki Great Snake said as he swung his tail like a dragon, trying to kill Tianyu with one tail. A dark aura appeared around Tianyu's body. Boom! A huge cloud of smoke appeared where Tianyu was standing. After a long time, Tianyu's figure slowly appeared in the dust. What? Yaki Great Snake opened his eyes wide, not believing what was happening in front of him. Because now Tianyu actually caught Yaki Great Snake's tail with one hand. And Tianyu roared, and then Yaki Great Snake's body slowly rose into the air. This is impossible. Why can a human have such a terrifying power? Yaki Great Snake completely didn't believe his eyes, and didn't understand why his body was easily lifted up by a human. Little snake, you are really arrogant, you'd better kneel on the ground. Tianyu threw Yaki Great Snake to the ground fiercely. With a boom, the snake scales on Yaki Great Snake's body continued to break, and blood appeared on the ground. It can be said that this battle was a complete crushing, and Yakiorichi had no chance to resist at all. Impossible. Yakiorichi lay on the ground, still not daring to believe whether this was true or not. However, the pain in his body told Yakiorichi that this really happened. He had lived in the cave for hundreds of years. Could it be that the world had really changed so much? An ordinary human could already beat him up with his bare hands. To what extent have humans evolved now? If Yakiorichi knew that Tianyu was the strongest person in the world now, Yakiorichi would not know what to think. Okay, I don't want to kill you either. Now I'll give you a choice. The first is now, I will chop off your 8 heads directly, and then there will be no rumors about you in the world. The second is to surrender to the kid you mentioned. From now on, you two can love and kill each other, and I won't have anything to do with you. Tianyu put his sword on Yakiorichi's head and looked at Yakiorichi with cold eyes. Now on Tianyu's body, there is a very terrifying cold air all over Yakiorichi's body. Yamada no Orochi knew very well that if he chose one, Tianyu would probably end his life without hesitation. I choose two. When he said the choice, Yamada no Orochi seemed to have lost something in his heart and fell to the ground. Orochimaru also came to Yamada no Orochi happily at this time. Orochimaru gently bit his finger and then placed it on Yamada no Orochi's forehead. The next moment, a dark magic circle appeared on Yamada no Orochi's head. Then Yamada no Orochi disappeared from the spot, and no one knew where he went. Oh? Is this a sealing technique? It seems that you want to gradually release the power like Naruto. Tianyu looked at Orochimaru and finally came to this conclusion. Because now Orochimaru also placed Yamada no Orochi in his danshin. Tianyu is now even curious in his heart. When Orochimaru practices to that point, will Orochimaru also appear in the state of tailed beast? To be honest, Tianyu has only seen the sage mode of snakes. That was the sage mode used by Kabuto at the beginning. As the founder of the snake form, Orochimaru has never shown any state of the sage mode. So now Tianyu is also very curious about what Orochimaru will achieve in the future when he possesses the Yamada no Orochi. Everything is done, so are we going back? Tianyu came behind Orochimaru. After hearing this, Orochimaru nodded and then put his hand on Tianyu's shoulder. Then Tianyu took Orochimaru and left the Death Forest together. Then this trip to the Yamada no Orochi was solved so easily. A Kusanagi sword easily got an ancient beast. This is still very beneficial for Konoha village. Then Orochimaru and Tianyu returned to the hidden laboratory. At this time, Senju Tobirama was concentrating on observing the scout mouse in his hand. Looking at the smile on Senju Tobirama's face, it can be seen that the scout mouse should have reached the point of success. Who is it? Senju Tobirama felt a strange power and quickly took out the flying thunder god slash and placed it on his chest, always on guard. However, when he saw that the people coming were Orochimaru and Tengu, he quickly put away his weapons. Orochimaru, I feel that your aura seems to have changed. Senju Tobirama cautiously glanced at Orochimaru, whose aura was different, and he was a little worried. Orochimaru just smiled and said nothing more. Okay, let's take a quick look at my scout mouse. Orochimaru is in good health. Tengu hurriedly stepped forward to dispel Senju Tobirama's doubts, and then began to pay attention to his scout mouse. At this time, the scout mouse in the laboratory had been almost disassembled, and the last problem should be assembly. Tengu, I have almost done the research. If nothing goes wrong, the assembly this time is almost done. After explaining to Tengu, Senju Tobirama looked at Orochimaru standing aside. Orochimaru also put on the white coat next to him, and then participated in the research with Senju Tobirama. Tengu didn't disturb them, just stood aside and watched. After all, the assembly problem will be solved in a while, and it will be very troublesome if he returns the key to the water country. After Orochimaru became familiar with the more similar indicators of the detection rat, the two began to assemble it. After more than an hour, the two people's detection rats were almost assembled. Information about the detection rat appeared in Tianyu's mind again. He controlled the detection rat with his own thoughts. Anyway, the basic problems did not change. This also made Tianyu very pleased. His scientist is really good. After everything was solved, Tianyu put the detection rat on the ground and began to control it. Shadow binding technique. Following Tianyu's command, shadows appeared near the detection rat. As the shadow stretched faster and faster, it directly controlled Orochimaru not far away. However, because Orochimaru's combat power is too strong, the duration of this binding technique is only 3 seconds. If it is more, the detection rat will be completely scrapped, so the cost will be high. Chapter 411, Crazy Chijiro. Well done, then you just need to modify all my scout rats. Tianyu saw that the modification of the scout rats was almost perfect, so he didn't stay here for long. After all, Shikamaru was still in the capital of the Land of Water, and it would be bad if something went wrong. Okay, got it, you just need to come again tomorrow. I think the modification should be almost done tomorrow. Senju Tobirama calculated the time for the modification to be completed, and then continued to modify it with Orochimaru. Tianyu nodded, and then used Flying Thunder God to disappear on the spot. The next moment Tianyu appeared in the capital of the Land of Water. I seem to have forgotten that Shikamaru was in that hotel. Tianyu was about to go find Shikamaru, but suddenly realized that he seemed to have forgotten to ask Shikamaru where he went when he left. This is difficult. Tianyu looked around, and finally had no choice but to try to find Shikamaru in every hotel. Huh? Just when Tianyu was about to look for him, he suddenly saw a notice with Shikamaru's name on it. It said that because this person was causing trouble in the Land of Water, he has been arrested by the Kurigakure Anbu. Please rest assured, residents. A strange look appeared on Tianyu's face. After all, Shikamaru is not the kind of person who makes trouble randomly, especially in a foreign country, and he is not by his side. Shikamaru should only live in the room. Now he was inexplicably caught by the Kurigakure Anbu. Not only that, Konoha village should not have received any information about Shikamaru Nara's arrest. After all, in Konoha village, the Nara clan is a relatively famous race. The young master of the race was caught, but no one knew? It seems that the Kurigakure village did not intend to tell Konoha about Shikamaru's arrest. What a courage! You caught my Konoha people. Do you want to live in Kurigakure? Tianyu's face showed a trace of anger, and then released some of the modified scout rats. Go find Shikamaru, tell me the location quickly after you find him, and control all the high-level Anbu. After Tianyu gave the order, all the scout rats scattered. Tianyu's mood was no longer so good, and there was no emotion in his eyes. If Shikamaru really had a problem today, then there would be no need for the Hidden Mist village to exist. At this time, in the detention cell of the Anbu, Shikamaru was lying on the ground with injuries all over his body. In the cell next to Shikamaru was the cell where Queen was imprisoned. Damn it, Lord Tianyu should have come back to find me, I must get out. Shikamaru reluctantly got up from the ground, trying to find a chance to escape. Don't think too much, this is the headquarters of the Hidden Mist village Anbu, and it would be troublesome to escape even if it is a cage-level strong man. Queen lay on the ground like a salted fish, looking at Shikamaru next to him depressedly. He naturally saw that this person was one of the famous 12 little strong men in Konoha village. As the intelligence chief of the Hidden Mist village, Queen naturally knew the famous young generation of Konoha village. But no matter how famous he was already in the headquarters of the Anbu, so he didn't think about escaping. Aren't you the head of the intelligence department, Queen? How come you were arrested as well? When Shikamaru saw Queen, he was obviously stunned. He didn't expect to meet such a person in prison. If he talked about the reason why Shikamaru was arrested, even Shikamaru himself couldn't help crying and laughing. He had thought the same as Tianyu, and didn't run out to make trouble. But after a while, Shikamaru also needed to eat, so he ran out to buy some fast food. Who knew that after going out just once, there would be problems? On the way, he happened to meet Chijiro, who was walking outside. Shikamaru wanted to leave quickly and not provoke a guy at this level. But Chijiro didn't care whether you provoked him or not, because with Queen's departure, Chijiro is now the highest level existence in the Hidden Mist village. As long as Madarumi didn't come out to interfere, no one in the Hidden Mist village could stop him from doing anything. In addition, Madarumi didn't care much about the affairs of the village, so Chijiro became like this. Shikamaru accidentally messed up Chijiro's clothes, so this happened. So even Shikamaru couldn't help laughing when he heard the reason for his imprisonment. You'd better stay here obediently. Your crime shouldn't be serious, and you won't receive too much punishment. Queen also heard the reason for Shikamaru's imprisonment from the guard. When he was still there, he kept stopping Chijiro from doing excessive things. Now that he is in prison, he can only watch here and there is no way out. I believe that Lord Tianyu will come to save me, and the Hidden Mist village will pay the price. Shikamaru naturally knows Tianyu's temper very well. If he knew that he was arrested for no reason because of this reason, then the hidden mist village would pay the price. Qing's face only showed a smile, and he didn't take this matter seriously. He had naturally heard of Tianyu's name. But would an existence of this level come to save people because of such a child? Besides, Tianyu is now the elder of Konoha village, and every action he takes is an existence that causes turmoil in the ninja world. If he really came to Kurigakure, he should have some news. The person who brought news to Tengoku a few days ago was still in Iwagakure. It is impossible for a person to come to the land of water so quickly. Just as the two were chatting, a mouse appeared in front of Shikamaru. You were sent by Tengoku-sama, right? Shikamaru saw at a glance that this was the scout mouse that Tengoku often used. It's just that he hadn't seen it recently. Now that he saw it again, Shikamaru didn't know why he felt a sense of nostalgia in his heart. Shikamaru also told the scout mouse all the information about his capture. He remembered that the scout mouse should have the function of transmitting messages. Even if he didn't know, Tengoku-sama should come to rescue him as quickly as possible. What? Is this really? Qing couldn't believe his eyes, but the information he got was that Tengoku did have a bunch of rat-like blades. This thing can continuously send information to Tengoku's hands. It is also one of Tengoku's very famous abilities. Originally, he didn't want to take the child's words to heart. But after seeing the reconnaissance rat in front of him, Qing's heart was shaken. Is Shikamaru really worthy of Tianyu's rescue? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 412 The Rebellious Minister. But wasn't Tianyu in the Hidden Rock Village a few days ago? Why is Tianyu's ability now in the Hidden Mist Village? Is this Shikamaru's own way of disturbing the audience? Qing's heart was also full of doubts. If Tianyu really came, it would be no problem for him to help Shikamaru now. As long as he could overthrow Chijiro's arrogant behavior with the help of Tianyu. Then it was right to please Tianyu now. If Chijiro stayed in the Hidden Mist Village for one day, the Hidden Mist Village would become more and more corrupt. Shikamaru, I believe you now. I will help you escape from here later. After constantly weighing the pros and cons in his heart, Qing finally decided to take a gamble. Shikamaru also looked at Qing very strangely, not understanding why Qing's attitude changed so quickly. But when he saw the mouse in his hand, he understood why Qing changed so happily. It seems that even Qing can see Tianyu's detection mouse. Okay. Although Shikamaru knew that Qing didn't really want to help. But Qing's fighting ability is also very impressive. One more person can also reduce some pressure on Lord Tianyu. In this case, it is necessary to call a strong man. Qing stopped talking and sat quietly on the ground waiting for the opportunity to come. At this time, Tianyu, who was resting in the land of water, also received the news from the scout rat. When he heard the reason why Shikamaru was caught, a tree next to Tianyu instantly broke into pieces. Tianyu still had a smile on his face, but his fists were clenched tightly. Tianyu was very angry now. He didn't expect that the management of a village could be so bad. It has completely become a feudal society. He wanted to see if Madarumi would still be a hands-off boss even if he came. According to the plan, kill all the guards. After Tianyu gave the order, the scout rat in front of him nodded and then disappeared into the dark. The scout rat in the prison also received the order and ran out of Shikamaru's palm. Huh? Shikamaru quietly watched the scout rat move quickly towards the guards. He remembered that the scout rat had no fighting power at all. He thought that Lord Tianyu would quickly come here to rescue him. He didn't expect that he would use the scout rat directly. Even Qing sat up straight. The scout rat he knew was indeed a scout tool. He had never seen its fighting power before. Could it be that Tianyu's scout rat had some different functions? Or was it not Tianyu's scout rat at all? Gulp. Qing couldn't help swallowing his saliva, and he was a little doubtful about his decision. The next moment, Qing and Shikamaru widened their eyes. Because now the shadow next to the scout rat's body actually moved flexibly. The next moment it moved to the guard's shadow. What's going on? Why can't I move? The guard naturally discovered the problem with himself. No matter how he moved, he couldn't move at all. Are you in trouble? Who else can move? The captain of the guard also hurriedly began to confirm whether anyone could move, but everyone present had already been controlled by the scout rat. Report to the captain. I can't move. Over. Report. Report. The guard captain's face was very ugly. He didn't expect that their Anbu would be tricked by someone without paying attention. Isn't this the inherited ninjutsu of my Nara family? Shikamaru couldn't believe his eyes. After all, the Nara clan had just handed over the inheritance to Lord Tianyu a few days ago. Unexpectedly, Tianyu had already handed over their ninjutsu to the scout rat in a few days. The attack of the scout rat is much stronger than that used by their Nara clan. After all, after the Nara clan used it, they could only stand still and couldn't move. But the scout rat is different. After controlling people, it is already the most perfect. Bayan. Water escape, water bullet drain. After Qing shouted, a cloud appeared in front of Qing. In an instant, countless raindrops appeared and shattered all the iron cages in front of him. The next moment Qing ran out, and he didn't run away immediately because he ran out. Instead, he came to the captain of the guards and took out the key to the prison door from the captain's waist. Minister Qing, you should also know the consequences of escaping from the Kirigakure village. I hope you can find a way to remove the restrictions on us as soon as possible, otherwise the consequences will be serious. The captain of the guards did not feel scared because he could not move. After all, he was the captain of the Kirigakure village's Anbu. If anything happened to him, even Qing, the head of the intelligence department, would not have a good ending. As a senior official, Qing naturally knew this and would not be ruthless. I'm sorry, I have my own reasons. Qing apologized, and then took the key to help Shikamaru open the door. You really keep your promise. I thought you would escape by yourself. After Shikamaru stretched his body, he followed behind Qing. Qing just smiled and then led Shikamaru out of the Anbu. Qing, you still have a chance. If you don't leave now, I will speak for you. Please remove the restrictions for me, otherwise your fate will be very serious. Just as Qing was leaving, the captain of the guard kept yelling behind him, trying to get Qing to give up the dark and join the light. Qing, do you want to kill this guy? Shikamaru scratched his ear impatiently and took out his kunai from his waist. No, after all, I am also a ninja from the Hidden Mist village. I don't want to see anyone kill the ninjas of our village. Okay then. After hearing Qing's refusal, Shikamaru could only smile helplessly, and then left the Hidden Mist village Anbu together. After Tianyu felt that Shikamaru had left the Anbu, he asked all the scout rats to retreat. Is everything okay? After the captain of the guard felt that his power had disappeared, he ran out to report the matter. After all, the rebellion of the Minister of Intelligence is not a trivial matter. As long as Qing is arrested, it will not be as simple as a simple detention. Qing also knew about this, but he still ran towards the office of the Mizukage of the Hidden Mist village. Shikamaru thought for a while, reported to the scout rat, and then quickly followed Qing. After all, it was Qing who saved him, so he had to ensure the safety of his ally. Wait for me, we'll go together and delay the time. We'll wait for Lord Tianyu to arrive before we act. Chapter 413 The most dangerous place is the safest place. Okay, but we have to hide now. After all, we too escaped from prison. If we are discovered, Lady Darumi May will execute us on the spot. Qing knew the rules of Kirigakure. However, they should be the first people to escape from the Kirigakure Anbu prison in all these years. After all, the fighting power of the Anbu is here. Only Tianyu can control all the Anbu members in an instant. Okay, I will notify Lady Tianyu to come here to find us. After Shikamaru informed the scout rat where they were hiding, he stopped going out. After Tianyu learned about the situation, he came to Kirigakure from the capital of the Land of Water at the fastest speed. At this time, the whole village of Kirigakure was on alert. Because of Qing's rebellion, the Mizukage Madarumi was furious. Because of a Qing's rebellion, who had always shown loyalty for many years, Madarumi was completely confused. This also allowed Chijiro to completely control all the political power in Kirigakure. As long as Madarumi's state could not be recovered, then Kirigakure would belong to him, Chijiro. As long as Qing is really killed, no one will be able to stop him in the future. So Chijiro used the name of rebellion to mobilize all the Anbu members, as long as they brought back Qing's body. Now the entire Kirigakure village can only enter but not leave, so almost everyone gathered at the entrance of the village. No one wants to go in at this time. If they are involved because of the war, it will be more trouble than gain. Tianyu was not worried about this matter. After registering his identity, he walked into the Kirigakure village. "Are you the legendary Tianyu-sama?" The guarding ninja looked at Tianyu's young face and trembled a little when he spoke. After all, Tianyu's name is too big. Especially at this critical moment, walking into the Kirigakure village, the guard had to be on guard. "What? Can't I enter your village?" Tianyu scratched his ears and asked casually. No, what are you talking about? Please come in." The guard didn't want to provoke Tianyu now, otherwise Tianyu would have a bad temper and kill himself, and no one would reason with him. Tianyu nodded, and then went to the hiding place of the two according to the information sent by Shikamaru. "Shikamaru, come out, you found this place perfectly." Tianyu walked into the place where Shikamaru found, and couldn't help but sighed. I didn't expect that Shikamaru's hiding place was actually next to the Mizukage's office. This is completely a thief stealing things under the noses of the police, and he hasn't been discovered yet. Lord Tianyu, after all, we are now criminals, and we will definitely find a very hidden place. And I want to do the opposite, right under their noses, and it is also the place with the most lax defense. Tianyu heard this and couldn't help but admire Shikamaru's courage. This should be the appearance of a person without strength, trying to survive. Tianyu made a little Versailles speech in his heart, and then his eyes looked at Qing not far away. At this time, Qing was also looking at Tianyu seriously. After all, Tianyu is a famous person in the whole world. I didn't expect that he would stand in front of me alive today. "Go ahead, I heard Shikamaru say you need my help, tell me your request." Tianyu scratched his ears and lazily found a place to sit down. Qing also quickly said all his requests. "Which one is like this?" After some explanation, Tianyu understood what Qing meant. "Do you mean you want me to help Madarumi regain power?" "Yes." Qing nodded firmly, but hesitated again. After all, his request was too much. Even if Tianyu had nothing to do now, he would not help him for no reason. Sure enough, Tianyu made a request the next moment. "I can help you, but you also know my identity. What can you give me?" When Qing heard that Tianyu could help, his eyes couldn't help but light up. When he heard Tianyu's request, Qing began to hesitate. At this time, Tianyu came in front of Qing and gently placed his fingers on Qing's black eye mask. "Qing, you should also know that this eye of yours is the eye of my Hyuga high level. If you are willing to help me, I am willing to return your eye." Oh. Tianyu had the opportunity to mention it, but he did not hope that Qing would return the eye. After all of Qing's current abilities are basically brought by the Byakugan of the Hyuga family. If he loses the Byakugan, it means losing his status and everything. However, Qing actually offered his Byakugan without hesitation, which also shows Qing's loyalty to the Hidden Mist village. "You said it, if that's the case, I'll go out and have fun." Tianyu agreed to this matter, and his eyes slowly looked at the Mizukage's office not far away. At this time, there was only a woman's chakra in the Mizukage's office. At the door, there was a man's chakra, and there was an annoying weapon behind him. I don't know why, Tianyu just felt that this weapon was very annoying. Well, since I'm here, if I hide, wouldn't it be in vain for me to call myself the Black Death God? Tianyu said that a kunai appeared in his hand, and he shot it towards Terumi Mei's office with a detonating talisman. Boom! With a loud bang, a huge hole was blown open in Meidarumi's office. Meidarumi also jumped out of the office in a panic. Who on earth dared to cause trouble in my Kirigakure? Meidarumi never thought that she would be blown up so badly at her doorstep. If she told others, wouldn't she be laughed to death by the shadows of the other 4 villages? Protect the Mizukage-sama, assemble all. Chijiro also ran out of the dark quickly in a brief moment of unconsciousness, summoning the Anbu to protect Meidarumi. Pa. Tianyu clapped his hands from the room and walked out little by little. Meidarumi-sama, Tianyu, don't know your etiquette, so I'll give you a detonating talisman. Tianyu's words made Meidarumi's originally dark face even more blue. Who would give someone a detonating talisman as a gift? Even Konoha doesn't have such a weird etiquette. And didn't this kid leave after catching the 3-tailed beast last time? Why is he here again this time? Meidarumi forced a smile on her face. I wonder if Elder Tianyu has some important business to discuss this time. Meidarumi said as she cleaned the stains on her face. Chapter 414, The Miserable Chijiro. Oh, There's nothing important, just chatting with Terumi Mei. Tianyu said casually, not taking Terumi Mei seriously at all. Terumi Mei couldn't help but feel a little angry, but when she thought of his fighting ability, she held it back. Since Lord Tianyu has nothing important to do, why don't you leave first? There is a traitor in our village now. It would be bad if you are hurt by mistake. Although Terumi Mei's words were very polite, her words were all to drive Tianyu away. Tianyu smiled indifferently and waved behind him. I wonder if Lord Terumi Mei is talking about this person. Tianyu said. Qing had already come out of the room, looking at Terumi Mei in front of him with a little evasive eyes. Lord Terumi Mei, I report to you. After seeing Qing coming out, Terumi Mei suddenly understood how everything was fine. How could she say that it would be impossible for Qing to escape alone? Now after seeing Tianyu standing next to Qing, everything can be explained. Elder Tianyu, the person standing next to you is a fugitive from Armory. I hope you can hand him over. Terumi ignored Qing and hoped that Tianyu could hand over Qing. Tianyu naturally couldn't hand over Qing, after all, he had promised Qing. Lord Terumi Mei, I hope you can listen to Qing's words. I won't care about what happens next. Tianyu stood in front of Terumi, holding a kunai in his hand and put it on Terumi's neck. Protect Lady Terumi Mei. Chijiro saw that something was wrong and shouted. However, Terumi raised her hand to indicate a pause. I know, but I hope what Qing said is useful, otherwise I will tell Konoha about this matter. But Lady Terumi Mei. Chijiro guessed what Qing was going to say and hurriedly stepped forward to stop him. Okay, Chijiro, I understand everything, you leave first. Yes. Although Chijiro was very unhappy, he still reluctantly agreed. When Chijiro left, he gave Qing a vicious look. Qing saw that Terumi Mei agreed, and a smile of joy appeared on his face. Then Qing hurried out and brought his original intelligence department members over. At this time, the intelligence department members were holding countless certificates in their hands. Terumi, this is the evidence of Chijiro's crime that we have collected over the years. Because there was insufficient evidence a few days ago, we have not told you. Now the evidence is sufficient, so please take a look. Terumi, don't listen to Qing's nonsense. Chijiro was obviously panicking, and rushed up to snatch the certificate from the intelligence department. Chijiro, I asked you to leave, didn't you hear clearly? Terumi was obviously a little angry, and a trace of water vapor appeared beside her. If Chijiro made trouble here, Terumi would kill Chijiro without hesitation. Chijiro also saw the anger of Terumi, and could only push it aside. Qing smiled and glanced at Chijiro next to him, then asked his men to recite Chijiro's crimes. These documents recorded everything, including when, where, and the evidence. This also made Chijiro next to him more and more panicked. Not only Chijiro, but even Terumi Mei's face became very ugly. Qing, stop talking, you are now a fugitive from Armory. Chijiro wanted to use this identity to shut Qing up. But now Chijiro has already stopped at the edge of the cliff. Looking at the look in Terumi Mei's eyes now, it can be seen that Chijiro's future is over. Chijiro, you shut up, let Qing tell everything. Anbu people listen to my order, detain Chijiro and publicly execute him tomorrow. Yes. All the Anbu instantly looked at Chijiro next to them, and everyone stepped forward to surround him. What are you going to do? I am your superior, who dares to do it? Chijiro pulled out the mist behind him and his body kept retreating. Because of what Chijiro said, all the Anbu stopped at the same time. It seems that the management of the Hidden Mist Village is really lax. Tianyu looked at the scene in front of him and couldn't help shaking his head. If this situation happened in Konoha, it would be regarded as a silence. The Anbu is the most basic organization of a village. I didn't expect that they would not listen to the words of the supreme leader. Even Terumi Mei's originally livid face became even uglier. She didn't expect that the Anbu would not stop her words. It seems that she has been lax for too long. What are you doing? Is he the Mizukage or am I the Mizukage? Terumi Mei's roar made all the Anbu understand that the woman standing in front of them is the Mizukage. Even if she doesn't like management, Terumi Mei's fighting power is very strong. Otherwise, a village would never let a woman be the supreme leader. The next moment, all the Anbu rushed to Chijiro and were about to arrest him. Originally, Chijiro wanted to resist and then run away quickly. Tianyu naturally would not give Chijiro this opportunity. He gently released his aura and pressed it all on Chijiro. In an instant, Chijiro's arms dropped down, and the weapon in his hand had already fallen to the ground because of that. Quing, you finally succeeded. Don't you just want to take my place? Chojuro was pressed to the ground by the Anbu at this time, and laughed crazily. Quing ignored Chojuro's words and signaled his men to continue reading. Chojuro's crimes were read out one by one, as if each one was hitting Chojuro's heart. In the end, Chojuro fainted on the ground because he couldn't bear the blow. Tianyu would not let Chojuro give up this good opportunity for heart massage. He gently stimulated Chojuro's head, and Chojuro woke up instantly. Don't sleep, everyone is busy with your affairs. Tianyu. Chojuro looked at Tianyu with bloodshot eyes. All of this was because of Tianyu. If it weren't for him, how could he end up like this? I am only one step away from reaching the top, just one short step away. Chojuro roared in his heart, but it was all in vain. At this moment, a dark aura appeared in Chojuro's heart and enveloped his body. Chapter 415 The Existence of Profligate Merchants. What a familiar feeling. Tianyu suddenly felt a very familiar feeling. If nothing unexpected happened, he seemed to have had this feeling when he was with Shannon. After thinking for a long time, Tianyu finally figured it out. Isn't it the evil Kixie on the zero tail that Shannon brought? This should be the breath of dark chakra. But he remembered that dark chakra was artificially created by Senju Tobirama. He didn't expect that dark chakra could be cultivated into dark chakra by hatred. You are all going to die, all of you are going to die. Chojuro got up from the ground in a daze, and blasted away all the Anbu around him. Chojuro's hair also turned from light blue to pitch black. Not only that, even the eyes on his face turned into fragments, and the double swords flounder on his back were pulled out. Originally, the double swords flounder were weapons that used chakra. Now Chojuro's chakra has reached a terrifying level due to mutation. So now Chojuro can surpass the previous two users of flounder. Even among the 7 ninja swordsmen of the 3rd generation, there are only a handful of people who can surpass the current Chojuro. Chojuro, you dare to resist my order. Tirumi Mei quickly distanced herself from Chojuro and quickly formed a seal. Boiling release. Skillful mist technique mist appeared from Tirumi Mei's mouth, instantly covering the entire street, making it pitch dark. Just when Tirumi was about to continue attacking, Chojuro didn't give her the chance at all. With a swing of the flounder, the black chakra waved and instantly dispersed all the mist. What? How can it be so powerful? It was the first time that Tirumi Mei saw someone who could interrupt her skillful mist technique in an instant. When did Chojuro's fighting power become so strong? Tirumi Mei, it would be great if you just sat behind me. Now that you want to deal with me, I can only deal with you. Chojuro's eyes began to turn dark, and even the whites of his eyes disappeared. Tirumi Mei could only form a seal quickly and use her own strength to make up for the gap in combat experience. Chojuro would not give Tirumi a chance to seal. The flounder instantly grew countless times larger, and the chakra blade it carried slashed towards Tirumi's head. Elder Tianyu, save me. Tirumi knew that if she continued like this, her head would be chopped off. She could only ask for help from Tianyu next to her. Now only Tianyu could successfully save her. Really, I don't seem to have accepted these things. This all requires extra rewards. Tianyu was not in a hurry to take action. The reward for his mission was just to help Quing. If he was asked to fight again, he would have to be paid extra. I'll give you whatever you want, help me quickly, quickly. Tirumi could not care about these things now, and agreed to whatever Tianyu wanted. Okay, if that's the case, then I'll help you. Tianyu stepped forward and instantly came to Chojuro. I'm sorry, since I have already agreed, I have no choice but to kill you. Tianyu appeared behind Chojuro and raised his hand gently. Tianyu, it's you again, what are you going to do? Chojuro turned his head angrily and looked at Tianyu behind him. He tried to kill Tianyu with a wave of his hand. The next moment, Tianyu gently raised his hand and caught this terrifying attack. Impossible. Chojuro widened his eyes, unable to believe what he saw. He was very clear about the attack just now. How could Tianyu make this attack so easily? Nothing is impossible. You have to know that there are people who are better than you and there are heavens beyond heavens. After Tianyu finished speaking, he gently hit Chojuro's neck. The next moment, Chojuro's eyes were about to burst out, and the whole person lost consciousness. Oh? It seems that I hit too hard. It was a mistake. Tianyu wiped his hands, a little dissatisfied with his previous attack. He even wanted to call Chojuro up again to see if he could make another perfect attack or something. Okay, Master Terumi Mei, I have solved your danger for you. It's like this, my fee is actually very cheap. Here is the account list, take a look for yourself. Tianyu took out the request that he had prepared at some point from his pocket. Terumi Mei originally thought that there should be no requirements for such a small list. It seems that Tianyu is not the kind of heartless person, and charging is just a formality. Elder Tianyu, I can give you all these, let's find a place to talk first. Master Terumi Mei, do you have any misunderstanding? Open the list first. After looking at Tianyu in confusion, Terumi Mei looked carefully and finally saw a gap. Then Terumi Mei opened the small gap completely. The next moment, a 10-meter-long list appeared in front of Terumi Mei, and every item on it was very expensive. Well, Elder Tianyu, are you a little too much? Our village does not have so much property, please reduce the mission fee. Although Terumi Mei knew that he could ask for anything before. But I never thought that Tianyu would ask for so many things. If I had known this, I would not have let Tianyu come forward to help me even if I died. Ms. Terumi Mei, if I remember correctly, you said you can ask for anything. If you regret it, the consequences will be very serious. After all, you know that Chojuro's end was a bit miserable. Tianyu said this carelessly, but Terumi Mei was stunned. Looking at Tianyu's appearance, if I really didn't keep my promise, Tianyu would really kill me without hesitation. Even now, Terumi Mei is a little doubtful whether there is something wrong with her appearance. After all, every time she went to a meeting, those 4 stinky men would basically stare at her. Now, Tianyu has met her twice, and each time he said such threatening words. There is no sympathy at all. This stinky straight man doesn't know how to let me go. After complaining in her heart, Terumi Mei took out an IOU. Elder Tianyu, I don't have that much money right now. I will give you whatever I have. I will find the rest later and give it to you. Terumi Mei looked at Tianyu pleadingly and placed the IOU in front of Tianyu with both hands. Chapter 416, Ridiculous Akatsuki Organization. Okay, I also know your difficulties, so I won't embarrass you. Tianyu felt like he was doing it reluctantly. Humph, if you don't want it, then don't embarrass me. Terumi Mei complained in her heart. Lord Tianyu, I have important things to deal with here, so I won't entertain you. Terumi Mei pointed at Qing next to her, and then planned to take Qing away. Who knew that Qing suddenly came to Tianyu and slowly took off the blindfold on his face. Lord Tianyu, thank you very much this time. As promised, I will give you what I promised you. Qing put his hand on his eyes and pressed hard. Then Qing fiddled with it for a while, and he took out the white eyes in his eye sockets. From then on, Qing, the famous white eye killer in the hidden mist village, existed in name only. Tianyu also nodded with satisfaction, put the white eyes in the container, and then said hello to Terumi Mei, and left the village with Shikamaru. Qing, did you really give your Byakugan to Tianyu? Terumi's heart trembled a little. She didn't expect that Qing paid such a price because of her. Qing barely squeezed out a smile on his face. Terumi, you have seen my current situation. I hope to retire. Perhaps no one could imagine that Qing, who had given everything, would retire. Even Terumi didn't expect Qing to say such a thing, and she widened her eyes. Qing, I don't know what you are talking about. I still hope you will continue to manage the intelligence department. Terumi, what Kirigakure really needs is a leader, not us. I hope I will come back when Kirigakure really has a leader. After Qing finished speaking, he left Kirigakure without any nostalgia and went to various places to play. Terumi looked at Qing's back and didn't persuade him. Qing was right. After all, he had done something very excessive for such a long time. The best way to reflect this matter is that when she gave the order, the Anbu actually hesitated in front of him? Exclamation mark. Maybe I really did something wrong. Terumi then left the street and returned to the office again. Then Terumi thoroughly cleaned up the entire Anbu. No matter who it was, as long as they had a relationship with Chojuro, they were all given borders by Terumi, and they could not touch any power. Not only that, Terumi also pulled Chojuro to the door of the village. After reading out countless evidence of Chojuro's crimes, Chojuro was executed on the spot. Then all the property in Chojuro's house was used to pay compensation to all the victims. The villagers of Kirigakure were discussing while eating or resting that their Mizukage might really be back. Then the entire Kirigakure entered the closed village and pulled out all the cancer. Because of Meidarumi's thundering means, the entire Kirigakure returned to Meidarumi's control. However, because of this, the overall strength of Kirigakure has dropped a level. The current Kirigakure is exactly the same as the Iwagakure. But one was cleaned up by himself, and the other was destroyed by Tianyu himself. In this way, after Tengu experienced 2 villages, he made crazy changes to the village. As the culprit, Tengu didn't care about these things at all. Shikamaru, let's go to the hidden cloud village in a while. There is no need for us to stay here. Tengu looked at the direction in the distance and planned to leave. Lord Tengu, didn't we come here to capture the tailed beasts? Shikamaru looked at Tengu curiously. It seemed that he had not done anything about the tailed beasts since he came to the land of water this time. Along the way, he was either escaping from prison or helping the hidden mist village to change its policies. What was the purpose of their coming this time? There is no need. The 6-tailed beast has been caught. Let's go to the hidden cloud village first. Tengu had just felt the constant high energy fluctuations in the forest not far away. Only one of the most powerful tailed beasts in the world can do this. And Obito's unique chakra is hard not to recognize. What? Then why don't we grab it? Just watch them leave. After hearing this, Shikamaru's first thought was to quickly grab the tailed beast. Otherwise, the more tailed beasts there are in Akatsuki, the more danger they will face. Okay, I've already said we are going to Kumagakure. Anyway, we have plenty of tailed beasts, so don't worry. Tianyu was not anxious because the Vulpix was captured. After all, his ultimate goal was to summon Kaguya with Blacksmithing. Now he kept disturbing Akatsuki just because it was fun. Shikamaru also felt that Tianyu was a little impatient, so he stopped disturbing him. After all, Tianyu's attack method just now was too terrible, so he should stop talking nonsense. In this way, the two of them walked towards the direction of Kumagakure. At this time, all the members of Akatsuki were standing in the forest. On the ground, a strange-looking monster covered with the mucus fell to the ground. This was the Vulpix foam, and Akatsuki finally controlled the foam after a lot of effort. Great, it seems that Tianyu didn't come out to make trouble this time. Obito looked into the distance. In this battle, he did not use all his combat power. His attention was focused on the distant direction from time to time. After all, if their fighting power fluctuates too much, and they provoke Tianyu who is not far away, things will be troublesome. In this way, after Obito summoned the Outer Path Demon statue at the fastest speed, he led his people through space and left in a hurry. Now if they stay for one more minute, Obito feels that Tianyu will come. Even to this day, he still remembers Tianyu's snowflake attack deeply in his mind. And they may not even imagine that Tianyu has already discovered their traces. If Tianyu really wants to make a move, they have no chance to escape. In other words, Tianyu doesn't take them seriously at all. And these people in the Akatsuki organization are still secretly happy in their hearts, feeling that they are hiding too well. At this time, Tianyu also felt that those people in the Akatsuki organization had left, and a smile appeared on his face. It seems to be successful. It took a little longer than expected. Tianyu complained in a low voice, and then continued to move forward with Shikamaru. Chapter 417 The Embarrassed Ear. Hey, Shikamaru, can you be more careful? 3 days have passed, and Tianyu and Shikamaru have walked half of the way. The two did not encounter any strange things along the way. Today, the two are passing by an ordinary swamp. It should have been ordinary, and nothing should have happened. Shikamaru accidentally fell and was covered in mud. Tianyu couldn't help laughing on the spot after seeing the scene in front of him. Lord Tianyu, what's so funny about this? But I don't seem to have any clothes to change. Shikamaru climbed out of the swamp depressed, not knowing where to wash the mud on his body. Okay, let's go to a nearby place to wash it properly. Although Tianyu kept laughing at Shikamaru, he still took Shikamaru to find a place to wash it. After all, no one would feel uncomfortable with such a mud man next to him, right? Lord Tianyu, although I also want to, there doesn't seem to be any village nearby. Although Shikamaru also wanted to find a place to wash, he was very helpless after searching for a while. Because the map in his hand told him that there was no human habitation nearby. And the river also passed through this swamp, so now they could only hold on here for a while. What a lousy place. It's killing me. Tianyu couldn't help but complain, and then he secretly left a mark on Shikamaru's shoulder with disdain. Okay Shikamaru, you just go ahead, I'll come back when you're done. Tianyu disappeared on the spot after saying this. Anyway, he wasn't in a hurry about the tailed beasts. In this case, Tianyu would just go back to Konoha to take a look. After all, his scout rats have been transformed to the point where there is no room for development. In this case, he should also promote it well and strengthen the popularity of his family's business. After all, his parents are still ordinary people. They can only make a living by doing this business in this life. Although he had proposed a few days ago that his parents should retire and enjoy their lives. Unfortunately, his father told Tianyu that even if their family had become so rich, but they had worked hard all their lives and didn't want to give up the industry they had worked hard for half their lives. Tianyu naturally respected the words of the two elders. So he continued to drive the car and let Tsunade take good care of the two elders. These days have passed, and Tianyu's parents have lived a leisurely life. No one dares to come here to buy on credit and make trouble. Tianyu, you. Shikamaru stood alone in the swamp, looking at the footprints left by Tianyu when he left, and couldn't help sighing. He had followed Tianyu for such a long time, and he was really reliable when he was reliable. But when there was nothing to do, Tianyu was simply the biggest source of danger. Don't think about it, let's go quickly. If Tianyu comes back, it will be bad if I haven't left yet. Shikamaru quickly adjusted his state and continued to move forward. At this time, Tianyu had returned to the village laboratory. At this time, a young man with white skin was sitting in the laboratory, as if he was not a living person. Tianyu? Why are you back again? When Orochimaru saw Tianyu's figure, he was about to collapse. How idle is this guy? He comes back every few days and stays for a few days when he comes back. Is he not satisfied with his life outside and comes back to have fun? Hey, Orochimaru, what are you talking about? We are related to each other. But who is this boy? Why do I feel like I have seen him before? Tianyu looked at the boy lying on the operating table with his hands and feet restrained, and felt that he seemed to have this person in his memory. You are talking about him, the root member found in the hidden cloud village a few days ago. I didn't expect that the roots are really like tree roots, and they can't be cleaned up. Orochimaru smiled helplessly. Now this boy has Danzo's seal. He can't say any useful information at all. So Orochimaru and Senju Tobirama are studying how to find a way to unlock this seal. For a seal of this level, plus these two ninjutsu masters of this level, unlocking the seal is a matter of 1 or 2 days. If it weren't for the seal on the tongue to prevent the boy from becoming nude after the seal is unlocked, it would only take a few minutes for the two to unlock this seal. Oh? Then is this child's name Sai? After hearing this information, Tianyu understood that this child should be the person who replaced Team 7 when Sasuke defected. Originally, he was supposed to be sent by Danzo to monitor Naruto. But Danzo had already been killed by Tengu. In addition, Naruto and Sasuke had already walked out of the darkness, so it was impossible for them to escape. Tengu had completely forgotten about such a person. Hey, are you a fortune teller? Can you tell me a fortune? Orochimaru was also a little surprised by Tengu's answer. After all, he had never told anyone the identity of this child. Not only that, but he only knew the child's name. Unexpectedly, Tengu said Sai's name after taking a look. Go to hell, you are so disrespectful all day long. After the seal is lifted, send this child to the Anbu. No need to investigate, this child is useful. But Orochimaru didn't expect Tengu to let this kid go directly. After all, the bounty of the root in Konoha village is very high. Is it okay to trust a member of the root so easily? There's no buts. I'll be responsible for anything that happens, and you just need to handle it. Do whatever you want. After hearing that he didn't have to take responsibility, Orochimaru didn't say anything more. After all, he was also a person who loved to watch the fun. Since there was a good show to watch, he naturally wouldn't refuse. And Sai looked at the back of Amaji leaving, and there was still no emotion on his face. But he didn't have the murderous intent in his eyes like other root members because Amaji killed Danzo. Alice, it seems that there are more and more interesting things recently. Amaji couldn't help but smile when he thought of Sai. After all, when Sonia appeared, many interesting things would normally happen. Although Amaji is interfering in many things now, Amaji is not worried that these things will not happen. After all, Many things have proved that he doesn't have to worry about these things. Chapter 418, Konoha's strength does not need to rely on anyone. After all, although he changed a lot of things, most of the things are still moving in the main line. This may be the law of this world. Then Tianyu walked and laughed. If it weren't for Tianyu being a celebrity in the village, many people might think that this guy has a problem with his brain. After a while, Tianyu came to the downstairs of the Hokage's office. Why did you walk here inadvertently? Tianyu was also a little surprised that he walked here accidentally. It's better not to go in, after all, the tigress in the room is a bit annoying. Tianyu was a little hesitant and thought it was better not to go in here. After thinking about it, Tianyu turned around and left without hesitation, and he didn't care about the tigress. The next moment, after the sound of clattering, countless glass fragments fell from the sky. Then with a bang, a boss chair fell in front of Tianyu. What's going on? Tianyu was really scared. Doesn't this person know that it is illegal to throw objects from a high altitude in Konoha? Tianyu, you're already here, why don't you come in and sit down? Tsunade was sitting on the window with her arms folded, looking at Tianyu with a sneer. I just arrived, I'll go in right away. This tigress. Tianyu cursed in his heart, and then walked into the Hokage's office. Tsunade also sneered, and did not expose Tianyu's little thoughts. After a while, Tianyu walked into the Hokage's office. When Tianyu saw that the room was half full of documents, he couldn't help but be shocked. Oh my god, how many years have you not worked? You like so many documents. When Tianyu mentioned this matter, Tsunade was even more furious. She swung her fist with a wave of true energy and rushed towards Tianyu's head. Oh my god, a fist as big as a casserole. Tianyu didn't have the confidence to catch this punch, and quickly turned around to avoid it. Your uncle? Are you trying to kill me? Tianyu couldn't help but curse, but was ruthlessly retorted by Tsunade. How dare you say that? This is the workload of my Hokage for a day. Do you know who did it? Tsunade said as she threw a dozen documents at Tianyu's feet. Tianyu was a little puzzled and could only pick them up. She happened to see a photo of Kuratsuchi. It said that Kuratsuchi inherited the position of Tsuchikage and hoped that Tsunade would come. The next chapter was a photo of Tianyu, saying that Tianyu made a scene in the Tsuchikage office and hoped that she would give an explanation. Then there was information about the hidden mist village. After a round of thanks, Maid Arumi began to blackmail the Leaf Village. Not only these big things, but also the small things that kept happening during the time when Tianyu was away. Tianyu was more or less involved in everything. It can be seen how much workload Tianyu has added to Tsunade. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with me, I'm also doing a mission. Doing a mission? The mission you do is good. Tsunade smashed her desk into pieces with an angry punch. Even this time, Shizu next to her didn't step forward to stop her. Because Tsunade-sama couldn't complete her work during this period, even Shizune was busy from morning to night. This also made Shizune feel a little angry. Okay, it's just some documents, I'll help you deal with it. Oh? You have a little conscience. Tsunade's face changed so quickly, from angry to smiling. It seems that Tsunade's original intention was just to ask Tianyu for help. It's as if I have no conscience at all. Tianyu impatiently used Ice Attribute Ninjutsu, instantly covering the entire office. Snap. As Tianyu snapped his fingers lightly, the documents in the whole room turned into ice crystals. Tianyu, are you crazy? These are important diplomatic documents of the village. Tsunade was still thinking about how Tianyu could help, but she didn't expect that he would destroy them in the end. Even Shizune opened her eyes wide, unable to believe what she saw. Well, aren't they just some diplomatic documents? Tell those who are dissatisfied, come to me if you have any problems, Konoha will not give any compensation. Who gave them the courage? I scared the old guy Inoki off the stage, and they still dare to come and ask for compensation. Tianyu scratched his ears, indicating that these guys were just little things that were not worth mentioning. This is not because Tianyu is arrogant, because it is true that none of them can fight. Tsunade wanted to refute it, but thinking of Tianyu's fighting power, she could only laugh helplessly. Tianyu was right. Their Konoha's current powerful fighting power really does not need to cling to any pretentiousness. Tianyu, an old man came a few days ago, saying that you introduced him, and I arranged for him to sweep the floor at the door. Tsunade suddenly remembered something and said to Tianyu. What? Tianyu was stunned for a moment, And then he knew who Tsunade was talking about. The one who was introduced a few days ago was not Guji, whom he met by chance in the Hidden Rock Village. It seems that Guji didn't introduce himself after he came. Tsunade may have forgotten about this old man because she hadn't been in the village for many years. What's wrong? Is there any problem? Tsunade looked at Tianyu's shocked expression, and seemed to realize that she had done something wrong. After all, he was introduced by Tianyu, so there should be some difference. But when Guji first came, Tsunade didn't feel any breath from Guji. That's why she was put at the door to clean the house. It's nothing, but you should know the name of this old man. Go check the history yourself. If there's nothing, I'll leave first. It's just right to go see my sister. Well, you leave. This time Tsunade didn't pester him. Because she already felt that something was wrong. A person who could appear in history couldn't be that simple. Shizune, call up all the history of Konoha and check his name for me. Yes. Shizune also felt the seriousness of the matter this time, and hurried out to move all the history books in. Tianyu saw the two of them busy, and left the office. After working for more than 10 minutes, Shizune's powerful memory and search ability found the identity information of the old man. Tsunade-sama, I found it. The person in the photo should be him. Show it to me. Tsunade quickly threw the book in her hand aside and looked at Shizune anxiously. Shizune also nodded and ran over to hand the book to Tsunade. After Tsunade carefully read all the text, she also carefully compared the appearance of the old man in her memory. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 419, Konoha Sweeping Monk. Tianyu, that brat, actually tricked me. Tsunade finally knew the true identity of Guji. Damn it, this is a person who assisted the third generation of Hokage, and his combat power is stronger than that of the elite Jonin. She actually asked such a person to go out and sweep the floor. If the second grandfather saw it, wouldn't he scold her to death? Shizune, hurry up and go out with me to apologize. This old man's identity is not simple. Shizune naturally saw the introduction of Guji's identity and knew that the matter was serious. She hurriedly helped Tsunade open the door, and then Tsunade disappeared from the spot like the wind. At this time, at the gate of Konoha village, Guji was cleaning the fallen leaves on the ground with a broom. On the side, several children were playing happily on the side, and there were many children playing on the side. Grandpa Gu, are you really a Jinan? A girl on the side looked at Guji with some curiosity. After all, as a child, for a ninja, he is already a star-like existence. Yes, Grandpa has been a Jinan for many years. When you grow up, you must become a ninja. Guji rubbed the girl's head kindly, and then continued to work. This old man has been a Jinan for so many years, he is also a capable person. Izumo and Zidi, who were guarding the door, were watching Guji chatting with the children. After all, a Jinan who has been a Jinan for decades, even if he is not very good, can be promoted to Chunin. It was the first time they saw someone who could be a Jinan for decades. Don't say it, what if he is a hermit? Haven't you read novels? The so-called sweeping monk is not an ordinary person. What if he is also? Izumo, who was standing by, quickly covered Zidi's mouth and looked at Guji cautiously. Zidi smiled helplessly. Izumo was really idle. These days, he was either reading Intimate Paradise or some popular novels at the door. Now he is acting mysterious day by day, as if something is really going to happen. Hey, look, isn't this Tsunade-sama? Zidi saw Tsunade running over in a hurry, and quickly pulled up Izumo who was standing beside him. They were just ordinary Chunin, and this person was someone they couldn't afford to offend. Hello, Hokage-sama. The two stood at attention and greeted loudly. Even the children and Gusuke were attracted by their voices and looked at Tsunade. Tsunade didn't even have time to greet, and ran towards Gusuke. Shizune nodded apologetically, and then hurriedly followed. What's wrong with Tsunade-sama? Zidi looked at Izumo strangely. It was the first time they saw Tsunade-sama in such a hurry. And Tsunade-sama rarely comes here. How do I know if you ask me? Izumo said as he put away the novel on the table. If Tsunade-sama saw this, he would be in trouble. Are you still here? Gusuke shook his head helplessly. He had already guessed that Tsunade would come. After all, his own history can still be checked. When Tsunade was very young, Guji had already seen the little princess Tsunade. But when they met a few days ago, Tsunade obviously did not recognize him. That's why such a position was arranged for him. But Guji didn't have any objections. After all, he came back here completely because of Tianyu's words. The main reason is that Guji has been traveling outside for so many years. To be honest, he really misses home. So no matter where he is, Guji is satisfied as long as he's in Konoha village. Uncle Guji, I didn't expect you to be alive. Why didn't you tell me your identity when you came? Because of Guji's seniority, even Tsunade had to step forward and call him uncle. Haha, I'm old and don't want to move. The future of Konoha should be handed over to you young people. Guji smiled kindly, and his hand couldn't help rubbing the head of the little girl next to him. Is this old senior really the legendary hermit? Izumo widened his eyes. What he had imagined actually came true. Not only that, he is also a person that the Hokage respects very much. It seems that the sweeping monk in the novel is really powerful. Not only Izumo, but even Ziddy couldn't help but tremble in his heart. In his heart, he was very grateful that he didn't say anything to anger this old senior. Otherwise, looking at Tsunade like this, not only his identity would be in jeopardy, but even his life might not be saved. Uncle Guji, you also know that my second grandfather and great-grandfather are still alive. I hope you can show up to help me. Tsunade was worried that no one would come to help him. The second grandfather and great-grandfather didn't want to participate in political affairs, and they just listened to what Tianyu said. If such an old senior really came out, he would be under a lot of pressure. What did you say? Lord Tobirama is still alive? Even the first generation is alive. Guji couldn't believe his ears, and stared at Tsunade with his eyes wide open. If it weren't for his identity, Guji couldn't help but rush up and grab Tsunade's shoulders. Fortunately, the brain controlled Guji, so that Guji's raised hand slowly dropped down. Yes, Uncle Guji, the second grandfather and the great-grandfather have been resurrected by Orochimaru. Now the second grandfather is doing research in the laboratory, and the great-grandfather is fishing in the back village of Konoha. Tsunade looked at Guji's excitement and quickly told him the news of the two Hokage. Great, great, my Konoha finally has a backer, and it is finally prosperous. Guji shed tears excitedly, dancing on the spot like a madman. In fact, this can't be blamed on Guji. After all, when Guji left, Konoha was already in such a mess. After returning, it returned to its peak again. Anyone whose hometown can recover its vitality may become like this. Uncle Guji, I wonder if you can give me an answer. Tsunade looked at Guji expectantly. Since Tianyu didn't help, she would ask someone else for help. What is your relationship with Tianyu? I didn't expect Guji to answer the question irrelevantly and asked such a question. Uncle Kasuke, what are you talking about? She and I have an ordinary relationship, but he forced me to give up the position of Hokage. Tsunade couldn't help but clench her fists when she thought of this. Tianyu, this guy, has the ability to overthrow, but not the ability to discipline. Now, a bunch of messes are handed over to me. This is not the most hateful thing. The most hateful thing is that this guy is not honest. He just knows how to make trouble outside, which is really irritating. Chapter 420, Reunion After Decades. Girl Tsunade, since Tianyu gave it to you, I dare not interfere. Guji smiled helplessly. There was nothing he could do. The first point is that Guji himself really doesn't want to help. After all, he came back to live a retirement life and doesn't want to participate in the affairs of the village. Unless there is a major disaster in the village, Guji will not take action. In addition, Guji has also seen the fighting power of Tianyu. Since Tianyu gave the position of Hokage to Tsunade, the relationship between the two is definitely not that simple. So Guji should not be the light bulb. Uncle Guji, why are you like this? Tsunade stomped her feet helplessly, causing the entire ground to shake. Girl is so strong. Guji quickly protected the children beside him in his arms to prevent them from getting hurt. Uncle Guji, since you don't want to help, then I would like to ask you to go to the back mountain to accompany my great-grandfather. You two can be regarded as a companion. If you sweep the floor here, the second grandfather will say me. Tsunade also gave up the idea of asking Guji to come out to help. Anyway, he is familiar with the work now, so if he can't do it, he won't do it. This is what Tianyu told him. If there's any problem, let Tianyu solve it himself. No, I can still chat with the children here, it's good. Guji shook his hand and looked at the young generation of Konoha beside him kindly. These are the pillars of Konoha in the next few decades. Watching these children grow up, Guji has an indescribable sense of accomplishment. But don't say but, if your second grandfather investigates, just let him come to me. It's just that I haven't seen Lord Tobirama for a long time. Okay, if Uncle Guji needs any help, come to me anytime. Tsunade couldn't beat this century-old man, so she could only tell Shizuka next to her, and then went back alone. Shizuka also told Izumo and Katetsu who were guarding the door. After continuous confirmation, Shizuka left peacefully. Wow. It's really exciting. Senior, even Tsunade admires me so much? I must go and flatter him. Izumo stood up excitedly and was about to chat with Guji. Unexpectedly, he was grabbed by Ziddy and thrown on the seat. Don't you want to live? How old are you? Don't you know your little tricks? It's better to carry out the mission well, otherwise no one can protect you if something goes wrong. Ziddy scolded Izumo angrily, and then continued to do his job. Although Izumo was a little angry, he also knew that what Ziddy said was not a problem. If he had gone there just now, he would undoubtedly be playing with fire and getting burned. Guji watched Tsunade leave, then continued to pick up the broom on the ground and started working. Grandpa, were you very famous when you were young? Why did the Hokage come to see you just now? A group of children also reacted from their shock and surrounded him excitedly. Your grandpa, I was nothing special at the beginning, I just knew a few people. Guji said this, and fell into his own memories. Haha, I didn't expect that I was just an ordinary person. A familiar voice suddenly pulled Guji out of his memories. After Guji looked at the person in front of him, his glasses were stuck to the bricks, and tears could not stop flowing out. Lord Tobirama, is it you? Guji boy, who else can call you like this except me? Senju Tobirama came to Guji with a smile and looked around. He nodded from time to time and patted Guji's body. Boy, I didn't expect that you are so old and still alive and strong. Amazing. What are you talking about? Without you, you don't know how I survived. And I haven't protected by Ye and the others yet. It's my fault. Guji's tears flowed as he spoke. And Senju Tobirama seemed to have recalled something he shouldn't have recalled, and his face was a little ugly. Okay, let's not talk about this anymore. Aren't you still alive? Let's go. We haven't seen each other for so many years. Let's go have a drink. Senju Tobirama grabbed Gusuk's arm and disappeared. Who is this person? Even the second generation is here. At this time, Izumo's voice was obviously a little trembling. Especially the attitude of Senju Tobirama and Gusuk just now, which was much more shocking than Tsunade's attitude just now. After all, it was the first time that Senju Tobirama had been so friendly to people since he was resurrected for such a long time. Of course, this person was except for Tianyu, the little pervert. Just like that, the news of Gusuk's return came out from Izumo and the children in an instant. Some people had already guessed Gusuk's identity, and couldn't help but sigh at Gusuk's age. Others hadn't figured out Gusuk's identity, and asked their subordinates to draw Gusuk's portrait overnight at home. Just like that, Gusuk's identity made the major forces suspicious. Especially the people from the 4 villages, they also passed this information to the village. No one in Konoha stopped this. Sometimes you still have to show your strong side in time. Otherwise, some small buildings will really think that Konoha is a soft persimmon. If they want to come up and pinch it, they can pinch it. The major villages also held a meeting overnight. The only one who could guess it was the people of Iwagakure village. After all, they were still chasing Kosuke not long ago. Of course, they are very familiar with this long-lived Jinan of Konoha. As for the other 3 villages, they are very anxious. Konoha originally had 2 former Hokages to support them, so they had no hope. Now, another person from the era of Senju Tobirama will come to the village. And he is the kind of person that even Tsunade has to respect. Is Konoha cheating? At this time, among the major villages, perhaps only the Cloud village still wants to fight with Konoha. As for the other 3 villages, they have completely given up their ambition to dominate the world. It doesn't matter if they don't have the strength to begin with. The cage of one village was defeated by the young people. One has long been attached to Konoha, making Konoha a protective umbrella. Another one was so confused by Tianyu that he didn't know the directions. The whole village was reshuffled and the vitality was greatly damaged. It can be said that Tianyu is completely a human-shaped husky, destroying everything wherever he goes. No wonder Tsunade hates Tianyu so much. Tianyu, the culprit, has bought a lot of gifts and came to the door of the house. Chapter 421 Ordinary Child. Creak. Just when Tianyu was about to open the door opened by itself. Tiantian was holding his equipment and wanted to go out for training, and happened to meet his brother coming back. "Brother, you are back." Tiantian rushed up excitedly and rushed directly into Tianyu's arms. "Haha, you little girl, you are still so spoiled." Tianyu rubbed Tiantian's head, and then put Tiantian down. "Okay, parents are at home, I have something to tell him." "Oh, okay, parents are indeed at home, why are you always busy, and don't know to play with me?" Tiantian puffed his cheeks, and then followed Tianyu to the living room of the house. At this time, parents were having dinner, and when they saw Tianyu coming back, they put down their bowls and chopsticks without saying a word and came to greet him. "Tianyu, you are back, why didn't you tell us that you came back, so that we could pick you up?" Tianyu's mother blamed him, but her face was full of tenderness, and she looked at her son with concern to see if there were any new wounds on his body. "Okay, Mom, what else can I do?" "Mom and Dad, finish your meal first, and come with me to our shop later. I have something to give you." "Okay." Tianyu's parents hurriedly ate a few mouthfuls of food, and then followed Tianyu to the shop. As for Tiantian, she didn't plan to go to training anymore. Her brother finally came back. If she went to train again, she would not be Ocean, who is obsessed with her brother. The four of them came to the shop with laughter. Because it is a peaceful era now, there are not many people buying weapons. Therefore, Tianyu's shop is not very popular, and there are only a few people queuing in front of the door. "Son, you have seen it too. Although I like this result very much, the business is indeed not good." Although Tiantian was also very happy that the world finally entered a peaceful era. However, their shop can only slowly enter destruction. Now it is just relying on the consumption of ninja training to barely support it. "Father, you don't have to think so much. I came here today to solve these problems." Tianyu smiled, and then took his parents to the backyard warehouse and threw all the ordinary blades aside. "These are not needed. These will be the past of our Konoha in the future." Tiantian and his wife naturally would not refute their son's words. In their eyes, even if their son smashed their store, they would not be angry. After all, if there was such a promising child, the entire Konoha village would not exist. "Brother, have you drunk too much? How can you say such a thing?" Tiantian even walked up and touched Tianyu's head, always thinking that his brother was daydreaming. After all, Tiantian did not expect his brother to sell his magical blades. At the beginning, Tianyu told him that this thing was dangerous and someone would be thinking about it. So he told him not to release these news that could win 2 games. Unfortunately, Tiantian still underestimated Tianyu's development speed. After such a long time, Tianyu is no longer afraid of these things. "Okay, you just mess around all day, what can I say about your brother, you have no respect for elders." Tiantian hit Tiantian with a slap, and then pulled him aside. "Woo woo, you are biased, I am not your biological child." Tiantian started to cry fakely, but it was obvious that the family had gotten used to it, and no one paid any attention to her. "Humph. I'm not going to be friends with you anymore." Tiantian saw that no one paid attention to him, so he stopped acting and stood quietly behind Tiantian. Tianyu smiled bitterly at Tiantian, and then waved his hand, and countless blades appeared in the warehouse. The warehouse of more than 1,000 square meters was filled up in an instant. If Tianyu hadn't left room, everyone might not be able to get out. "Wow, brother, are you going to rob there? Get so many blades. Go to hell, does your brother look like that kind of person?" Tianyu laughed and cursed, then took out samples of each blade and placed them in front of the 2 elders. "Father, Tiantian knows the functions of these things. You can set your own prices. I will tell you the cost. I believe that after these things are sold, Konoha village will usher in a progress." "Wow, brother, are you going to buy these? Do you want to give me some?" Tiantian's saliva was flowing down, and his eyes were staring at the weapons in the warehouse. Who could have thought that these were all legendary weapons of Tianyu? However, Tianyu did not take out his top equipment, after all, he still had to fight. As for the detection rat, Tianyu also made a limited edition. 1 for each person, for ordinary ninjas. It can be used very much. "Okay, Mom and Dad, you guys watch first, I have something to go." Then Tianyu left the place. After all, Shikamaru is still in the isolated country of lightning. I haven't been back for so long, I don't know if this guy will resent me. If Shikamaru knew Tianyu's conscienceless thoughts, he would definitely point at his nose and scold him. How did such words come out of his mouth? Why worry about him? If he was really worried, he wouldn't leave him alone and run away, right? This child, with his strength, is less and less at home. Tiantian suddenly looked a little old at this moment, and said helplessly. When Tianyu was normal, they often went out to do business, leaving Tianyu and his sister at home. Now, things are completely reversed. They have no business to do, and they originally wanted to stay at home to accompany their wife and children. Who knows that Tianyu has more things to do now? In 365 days a year, he only goes home less than 10 days. And there are so many things to deal with when he goes home. It's not that Tiantian is hypocritical, he really feels sorry for Tianyu. He is young, only 14 years old. Ordinary 14-year-old boys should still graduate from ninja school and catch cats and dogs. But what about their son? At the age of 13, he was already carrying out S-level missions outside. Now he is traveling in various countries, and news about Tianyu appears in the news from time to time. This matter was originally a matter of pride, and it is indeed very face-saving to talk about it. But if anyone really has such a child, he will be in danger all day long. For parents, it is better for their children to be ordinary, and they would rather live an ordinary life at home. Okay, father, isn't my brother okay? We are still fine. Since my brother has come back to give us so many weapons, we will sell them all the next time he comes back. Tiantian said, waving her little pink fist in an inspiring way. Tiantian looked at his lively daughter, no longer sad, smiled and began to sort out the weapons in the warehouse. Chapter 422. The capitalists all cried when they saw it. Tiantian was just joking for a while. Then he took out a piece of paper and wrote down all the data of the weapons left by Tianyu. Tiantian had tested these things himself, so he knew the approximate data. As for the loss, Tianyu had already handed them over to his parents, so he didn't have to worry about these things. Tiantian, is everything written here true? Can a small ninja tool be so powerful? Tiantian looked at the data written on Tiantian's paper and subverted his cognition a little. After all, weapons in one person's hands are just more malleable, which is something all ninjas understand. But a ninja tool that can automatically launch ninjutsu can completely subvert the entire ninja system. What's not true about this? My brother has always used these ninja tools. Let's not worry about those things. Since my brother has already taken them out to sell, it means that these things are of no use to my brother. Tiantian naturally knew what his parents were thinking. So Tiantian quickly dispelled his parents' concerns. After all, Tianyu had these concerns at the beginning. Now that Tianyu is no longer worried, it means that these things are not a threat to Tianyu. Okay, your mother and I will go to the back to set the price, you wait here for a while. After Tiantian finished speaking, he hurriedly pulled his wife to the back and began to calculate the production cost of these ninja tools. You don't know if you don't calculate it, but you will be shocked when you calculate it. Basically, all the ninja tools are only a few times the production cost of ordinary ninja tools. This is a weapon that can save your life in battle, but the cost is so cheap. Then Tiantian, the capitalist, couldn't help but reveal a smile of a profiteer. Although they are all villagers from the same village, this can't be compared with business. After a period of discussion, the price of the kunai that originally cost 1,000 taels became 100,000 taels. Basically, all the ninja tools are 100 times the original cost. However, Tiantian and his wife are confident that even if the kunai is 100 times higher than the cost price, there will be people who will come to buy it. Because these are all weapons that save lives in war. Those big families are afraid of death, and no one doesn't want to make their chances of survival higher. So even if it is 1 million or 10 million, there will be people who will come to buy it. After the discussion, Tiantian and his wife walked out of the shop together and put all the weapon samples on the counter. The ordinary ninja tools had all disappeared. They had been thrown away by the two of them a long time ago. What? 100,000 taels? Are you crazy about money? Tiantian originally wanted to care about his parents' property and ask for some pocket money. Who knew that as soon as he entered the door, he saw such an outrageous price on the cabinet in the front, and couldn't help shouting out. After all, on the battlefield, kunai is a disposable equipment. I didn't expect it to be sold at such a high price. Why are you shouting? I'm scared to death. What's wrong with 100,000? I think it's a bit cheap. Tiantian was obviously startled by Tiantian's shout, and looked at Tiantian reproachfully. But Tiantian obviously didn't realize her mistake, but looked at the kunai on the counter nervously. Because she had a lot of kunai left by her brother in her hand. 100,000, 200,000. He couldn't count them all. He had never seen so much money in his life. 1 million for a scout rat, 5 million for a Kusanagi sword. Has our store evolved into a high-end brand? Tiantian couldn't help swallowing his saliva and rubbing his eyes. After all, the bounty of Sarutobi Asuma, the son of Sarutobi Hirozen, was only 35 million. That is to say, Sarutobi Hirozen's head is worth 7 Kusanagi swords? You two are daydreaming here. Even if my ninja tools are good, they can't be sold. Tiantian looked at the couple who were a little crazy, and couldn't help but complain, then turned around and left. Tiantian didn't refute, and looked at the weapons on the counter with a smile. He thought his old age would just pass by, but he didn't expect his son to give him this opportunity. When he was young, Tiantian had a wish to become the richest man in the world. But the business of the weapon store was so limited, and there was no progress at all on this wish. Now, Tianyu gave him such a big opportunity, and then Tiantian naturally had to cherish it. The wife looked at Tiantian and understood Tiantian's ambitions, so no matter what Tiantian did now, she did not stop him. At this time, in the Hokage's office, an Anbu appeared in front of Tsunade. Report: the ninja tool shop of Tianyu's family has started to sell Tianyu's strange ninja tools. I don't know how much stock there is at present, I only know the price. Then buy them all. Tianyu's ninja tools are not simple. I didn't expect him to sell them. When Tsunade heard this, she quickly put the pen in her hand on the table. Tsunade's bracelet was made by Tianyu for her. So Tsunade is one of the people who knows Tianyu's powerful forging skills best. Tsunade had already proposed that she wanted Tianyu to help popularize ninja tools to the Konoha Anbu. But Tianyu refused. Now that she can finally buy this kind of weapon, Tsunade is naturally very excited. No matter what, she will buy them all. But, Tsunade-sama, the price is a bit high, I'm not sure. The Anbu didn't execute the order quickly this time. Even though he was wearing a mask, one could still hear his embarrassment from his voice. What? How expensive can a ninja tool be? I'll give you the price. Go buy it quickly. Tsunade thought that no matter how expensive this thing was, it was only expensive because of Tengo's craftsmanship. And as a villager, he shouldn't do anything to rip off the villagers, right? At most, the price would be several times or even 10 times more expensive than ordinary ninja tools. This is still no problem for a huge Konoha village. Tsunade-sama, the cheapest kunai in the store now has reached a price of 100,000, and there are even a lot of products that cost millions. If you want to popularize ninja tools throughout the Anbu, it will cost a lot of money. Poof. Tsunade spit out all the water she drank. All the documents on the side were wet by the water sprayed by Tsunade. Lady Tsunade, you are the Hokage now, you have to maintain your image. Shizune rushed over and wiped off the water and other things on the table, then took out the wet documents to dry. Chapter 423 Tsunade's Little Thoughts. What did you say? Tianyu is crazy about money, he wants 100,000. Tsunade smashed the desk in front of her and looked at the Anbu in anger. That Tsunade-sama, I don't know either. I don't know even if you asked me like that. No matter how strong the Anbu was, he felt a little weak in his heart when facing the extremely angry Tsunade, and could only smile bitterly. Sorry, I couldn't control myself. Tsunade was not an unreasonable person. After apologizing, she waved her hand. Go down. I'll come to you if there's anything. Thank you, Tsunade-sama. The Anbu breathed a sigh of relief and turned around and ran away. He didn't want to stay here for long. After all, if Tsunade couldn't control herself and went crazy again, it couldn't withstand Tsunade's punch. What on earth was Tianyu thinking? Why did he set the price so high? After thinking for a while, Tsunade felt that using her brain didn't seem to suit her at all. After thinking for so long, she couldn't figure it out. Forget it. I want to see what that guy wants to do. He is so ruthless. Tsunade thought and stood up with Shizuka to the weapon shop of Tianyu's family. At this time, the weapon shop was displaying a wide variety of goods, all of which she had indeed seen in Tianyu's hands. At this time, A man was yelling in front of the door of the store. Are you running a store to do business? A kunai is sold for 100,000 yuan? Are you robbing people? Originally, this person just wanted to come here to buy ordinary kunai. When he heard that this thing was the legendary kunai that Tianyu used at the beginning, he wanted to buy a few to try. When he took out 10,000 taels of silver notes, he arrogantly told them not to change it. Who knew that he would be slapped in the face by Xiangsheng's words, "Sir, the money you gave is not enough." Because of the embarrassment, he could only stand there and reason with Xiangsheng. "Sir, we are not forcing you to buy our products. It's just that this kunai is difficult to make, so the selling price is so high. Not only that, the success rate of my son's production is also very low, and the cost is extremely high. Even if it is sold for 100,000 taels, I won't make any money." Tsunade's eyes were wide open, and he couldn't believe his ears. At the beginning, he also saw Tianyu know the weapon, and it was so easy that it couldn't be easier. Now he actually said that the cost is high. Is this the legendary hunger marketing? Even Tiantian, who came back, was impressed by his father. "I didn't expect that there would be such a shameless person in the world. What is Chen Bangao? Low production success rate? Now they don't know how to deal with the mountains of kunai in their warehouse." I didn't expect my father to be able to say such words without blushing or beating his heart. "Hello, I see that your price is so high. Is there anyone buying it?" This ninja couldn't find a way out, and he couldn't say anything to Xiangsheng. He wanted to leave after saying something harsh, but when he thought that he was in front of Tianyu's father, he could only hold back his anger and flee the scene as quickly as possible. "Tenten? You are here too. Your brother set the price so high. Isn't it a bit too much?" Tsunade happened to see Tenten not far away and hurried over. "See if he can talk about the price. Otherwise, Konoha can't afford it if he wants to equip the entire Enbu with this price." "Master? I can't do anything about this. My brother didn't set the price specifically." "What do you mean?" Tsunade looked at Tenten in confusion, not understanding why Tenten said that. After all, it's obvious that these are all left by Tianyu. How can the price not be set specifically? Is it just based on his mood? In fact, he just put it out to show off, and take it back after people are jealous? Actually, it's like this. Tenten began to explain, with a wry smile on his face. There is really no other way. If my parents insist on doing this, the ninja tools may not be sold. So it was my uncle and aunt who came up with it. There is nothing we can do. Tsunade was also very helpless when she heard the price that Xiangsheng and his wife came up with. After all, if Tianyu set the price himself, then things would become very easy. Now, it's Tianyu's parents, so it's impossible to bargain, otherwise it will lower her image in the eyes of Xiangsheng and his wife. I don't know why, every time in front of Xiangsheng and his wife, Tsunade pays special attention to her image. She doesn't drink, doesn't gamble, and seems to be a perfect woman. In addition, her very famous identity makes Xiangsheng and his wife love her very much. "Girl, you are here too. I heard that Tianyu's ninja tools are on sale, so I came to buy some." At this time, Senju Tabirama suddenly appeared next to Tsunade, looking at the ninja tools in the store excitedly. After all, Senju Tabirama was also very interested in Tianyu's ninja tools at the beginning. Who knew that Tianyu didn't care about human feelings at all, and didn't give him any no matter what? Now that I can finally buy it, naturally I have to pay for it. Second Grandpa, although I'm here, the price is too expensive, I can't afford it. Tsunade showed a bitter smile on her face. There is really no way. Now Konoha village has not completely recovered. If you buy this batch of ninja tools, the daimyo will send someone to ask about it. Even too much, the daimyo himself is likely to come in person. Oh? And the things you think are expensive, I want to see how much Tenyu paid. Senju Tabirama said as he came to the shop. After observing it, he spent more than 100 million to buy all the goods. Girl, these things are not very expensive. I think Tenyu is getting a bargain. I advise you to buy them quickly. I'm afraid the price will go up in a while. Then Senju Tabirama couldn't wait to leave the scene and go back to study. He must crack the special method that Tenyu used to make ninja tools. Then he will show it off in front of Tenyu and make him angry to death. While thinking about Senju Tabirama, he laughed and then appeared in the laboratory. Did you bring it? Orochimaru didn't even raise his head, and was fiddling with his arms. Although Orochimaru has merged all the souls of the Yamada no Orochi, His power is not so easy to control. Otherwise, Orochimaru would not dare to let Senju Tobirama go in person for such a small matter. You really think I'm your subordinate? Senju Tobirama cursed with a smile, and threw all the ninja tools he bought on the ground. Take a look for yourself, these are all the goods sold in the shop. Chapter 424, The Greatest Fire Country Daimyo. After hearing this, Orochimaru also put down his work and ran over. When Orochimaru saw the ninja tools in front of him, his expression was very complicated. There was happiness, but also a little disappointment. He was happy that he could finally study Tengo's ninja tools and see some of Tengo's secrets. What disappointed him was that among these ninja tools, there were no high-tech weapons used by Tengo. After all, these were all Tengo's means of fighting against the enemy, and it was basically impossible to take them out. Okay, second generation, let's study separately and make sure to figure out the energy and forging techniques inside. Okay, let's get started. Senju Tobirama picked up a ninja tool at random, and then the two of them stopped talking and started working seriously. On the other side, in the Tianyu weapon shop, Tsunade was still thinking about what her second grandfather said. After all, as a master of forbidden techniques, Senju Tobirama wanted the ninja tools here very much. That means the value of these ninja tools must be very high. So Tsunade still planned to buy some more to take back. 10. Give me 100 of each of the 3 types of kunai, and 10 of the other weapons. Tsunade finally decided that she had to buy some even if she had to bear the pressure from the Fire Country Daimyo. After all, the Lightning Country has been making more and more moves recently, and maybe the Hidden Cloud Village will make some moves in a while. Although the current high-end combat power of Konoha is terrifyingly high. But don't forget that Konoha's high-end combat power basically won't do anything. Now Guji is basically an ordinary old man sweeping the door at the door. The great-grandfather never shows up in the back mountain. Since his resurrection, people have only seen him once. The second great Orochimaru and the second grandfather are seriously studying technology in the laboratory, so they won't show up either. As for that guy Tianyu, even if he can help, Tsunade really doesn't want to ask for mercy. So now the only ones in the village who can fight against the Raikage are her and Jiraiya. Jiraiya doesn't have much hope. After all, he doesn't appear from time to time, so don't count on such a person. Master, do you have a fever? The second generation bought it, but you want to buy it too. Tiantian stepped forward and touched Tsunade's forehead, looking at Tsunade in surprise. This is a big deal worth more than 1 billion yuan, and the master just said so and spent it? He really doesn't treat the village's money as money. Okay, stop making trouble, pack these ninja tools for me quickly, I still have a lot of things to do. Tsunade slapped Tiantian's hand aside, and then stood aside with his arms folded. Tiantian could only look at Tsunade with a look of looking at a fool, and then told his parents to pack the ninja tools together. Tsunade-sama, we will ask Tiantian to send these ninja tools to you later. Tiantian hurried over and said respectfully, and then glared at Tiantian. He told Tiantian to pack the ninja tools quickly. Huh? You always make me work, but you don't pay me. Tiantian looked at the master depressedly, and then went to the back to help Tsunade pack the items. Okay, uncle and aunt, I will ask the Anbu to take these ninja tools away with the money. But Tiantian, although you don't have to move things, you have to continue your training mission. Today, it will be twice as heavy. Tsunade showed a kind smile on her face and then left. Tiantian couldn't believe her ears. She could tell from Tsunade's expression. It must be that their family's offer was too high. So Tsunade had no place to vent, and could only let her cute and well-behaved apprentice do corporal punishment. Tiantian kept going crazy on the spot, and then he could only carry out the training mission obediently. Tiantian and his wife looked at Tiantian's appearance, smiled helplessly, and continued their business. Although the price of weapons is very expensive, there are still some ordinary families who will come to buy 1 or 2 to try them out. And there are also big families that have been placing large orders. In just this period of time, the sales of Tianyu weapon shop have reached tens of billions. However, this also means that the ninja tools left by Tianyu have not even been consumed by 1%. This also made Tiantian and his wife smile so much that a chrysanthemum flower appeared on their faces. This is the annual fiscal revenue of the entire Fire Country, which is simply terrifying. This is just one day's income. If a period of time passes, then Tiantian's wish will not be far away. At the same time, in the capital of the Fire Country, The daimyo looked at the more than 1 billion fiscal revenues that suddenly disappeared and stood up angrily. What's going on with Konoha village? They actually spent so much money. After the daimyo looked at the invoice from Konoha village, his brain was a little hypoxic. How much money did he earn in a year, and he actually spent 1/10 in such a short time? Is this new Hokage really so extravagant? Come here, tell the 12 guardian ninjas to let Konoha village give us a reasonable explanation. If you can't give an explanation, take down the Hokage of Konoha village on the spot. The daimyo gave the order without hesitation, without considering the original strength of Konoha village. The current Konoha village actually doesn't need to be attached to the name of the Fire Country. It's just because of the relationship over the years that Konoha village will listen to the words of the daimyo of the Fire Country. If the 12 guardian ninjas were really so bold and really wanted to arrest Tsunade, then the high-ranking officials who originally did not want to take action knew without thinking that the land of fire would be destroyed in one day. Just when the world was in turmoil, Tianyu appeared in the forest of the land of lightning. He appeared beside Shikamaru according to the mark left on Shikamaru. Hey, Master Tianyu, can you be more careful? You scared me. Shikamaru was obviously scared by Tianyu's sudden appearance and fell to the ground. Haha, I didn't expect you to run out so quickly. It's really good. Tianyu looked at the swamp behind him and the clothes on Shikamaru that had been washed very clean. It seems that Shikamaru has successfully crossed the swamp after finding a river nearby. Master Tianyu, you said it was easy, why didn't you tell me that there were crocodiles in the swamp? Shikamaru couldn't help but sigh and laughed helplessly. When Tianyu left, Shikamaru thought it was very easy to get out. Who knew that there was a crocodile more than 10 meters long in this swamp? If he hadn't run fast, Shikamaru would have become the crocodile's meal. Chapter 425 Secret Base. Crocodile? It should be normal for crocodiles to appear in the swamp, right? Tianyu thought that it was a very normal thing for crocodiles to appear in the swamp. After all, it was in line with biological principles. But, there is a giant crocodile that is more than 10 meters long, isn't it a bit problematic? Shikamaru couldn't help but shudder when he thought of the embarrassing escape some time ago. It was really that the armor on the crocodile was too hard. His shadow binding technique basically did not cause any damage to the crocodile. In the end, it was because Shikamaru ran too fast that he escaped the crocodile's pursuit. A crocodile that is more than 10 meters long? This is a bit abnormal. Wait a minute, let me take a look. Tianyu released hundreds of scout mice casually, and then began to look for the reason for the crocodile mutation nearby. Along the way, Tianyu saw hundreds of such crocodiles. This was not a random mutation. There must be some scientific laboratory, and the chemical products leaked here caused the nearby creatures to mutate. Shikamaru, it seems that our trip to the hidden cloud village will take a little longer. There are some interesting things ahead. Tianyu smiled, and then continued to pay attention to the progress of the scout mice. More than 100 scout rats moved forward quickly, constantly avoiding the threats in front of them. But even so, many scout rats accidentally fell into the abyss of the swamp creatures. In the end, only more than a dozen scout rats appeared at the entrance of a secret base. Oh? The traces here seem to be from Orochimaru, right? Tianyu finally came to a conclusion after observing the traces nearby. This should be the test base that Orochimaru used when he was walking outside. Judging from the appearance of the surrounding area, there should still be people using it nearby. But now it should be deserted. After all, the nearby defenses have all disappeared, leaving only the remains of limbs and fragments on the ground. It is obvious that this should be the test base that Orochimaru used after Kabuto escaped. But recently, he must have left here because he was afraid of any problems. There should be something special here. After all the crocodiles in the swamp here have mutated, there must be a reason. After a while, Tianyu finally found some clues. At this time, there are many vessels containing human bodies in each room. There is a girl with red hair and a boy with a weird look, with only his head left. The only one who seems to be a little normal is the yellow-haired boy next to him with normal height. Aren't these three the test subjects taken from Orochimaru's base when Sasuke defected? The girl is Karin, who has the authentic bloodline of the Uzumaki group. The extent to which this girl pursues Sasuke is really terrifying. Tianyu doesn't want to have anything to do with this guy. The second one is the white-haired boy next to him, who is Sujetsu Kizuki. I don't know where Orochimaru got so many precious bloodlines from. The last one looks normal, But he is actually the most abnormal one. That is Orochimaru's own artificial cyborg, Jugo. It seems that they have not been awakened for a long time. If nothing unexpected happens, Kabuto should also be afraid of their fighting power, so he was afraid that he could not control it and did not release them. Things are a bit difficult. Should I release them? Tianyu naturally admires their fighting power. But he has the same idea. The fighting power of these guys is very difficult to grasp. It is simply a double-edged sword. You don't know when it will hurt you. Wait a minute, I'll go check other problems first. After hesitating for a moment, Tianyu had to give up these guys first. Even if these guys are released now, they are still a problem. It is better to leave them here and wait for them to come out. If not, just hand them over to Orochimaru. These people are only controlled by Orochimaru. It is still very troublesome to control people by yourself. It is still more suitable for you to quickly resolve the battle. Then Tianyu continued to walk deeper into the test base. Along the way, Tianyu saw a lot of scenes, all of which were murals made by Orochimaru when he went crazy. Sure enough, I think Orochimaru must have a problem with his brain. Tianyu couldn't help but complain. It may be difficult for someone who can do these things to have no mental problems. Finally, after Tianyu walked for 5 or 6 minutes, he saw a gloomy cell. In the cell, there was a person with wounds all over his body, wrapped in only a kimono, and skinny. Orochimaru, this guy, won't come out after he stays at home. He doesn't even know how to take care of a dog. Tianyu looked at Kimimaro lying on the ground indifferently. This must be Kimimaro, who has a special bloodline limit, bone escape. It seems that Orochimaru has already let these guys go. If nothing unexpected happens, what Orochimaru wants most now is his body. Fortunately, this guy didn't show this kind of emotion in front of Tianyu. Otherwise, Tianyu doesn't want to let a person who wants to threaten him anytime and anywhere exist. All the fear is just a lack of strength. Who is Lord Orochimaru back? Ahem. Kimimaro felt someone's footsteps coming, and quickly opened his eyes and looked forward expectantly. But after looking at the young boy in front of him, he closed his eyes again. It seems that you really want Orochimaru to come back. How about I take you to see Orochimaru? Tianyu sat on the ground, leaning his back on the iron cage. Aren't you afraid that I will kill you? Kimimaro looked at Tianyu so defenseless, and he became curious about the boy in front of him. Is it because the boy is young and ignorant, and doesn't know where this place is? Or is it because the boy is very powerful and it is impossible for him to kill him? Puff. A 5-centimeter long bone appeared in Kimimaro's palm and went towards Tianyu's neck. I say, it's very rude for you to attack people casually. Tianyu turned his head and easily caught Kimimaro's arm, looking at Kimimaro's bones curiously. The people in this world are really amazing. They can use a bone as a weapon. Doesn't this guy's body hurt? Hey, will your arm hurt after your bone comes out? Tianyu finally couldn't help but ask such a question. After hearing this question, Kimimaro's originally pale face turned red, and he looked at Tianyu viciously. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.